Have you been to the area's premier radio-controlled hobby shop and raceway? Underground Raceway and Hobbies in Great Northern Mall has 2 indoor tracks for racing at every experience level. Don't have your own car? No problem. You can rent one from us. When you're ready to get your own, we've got an on-site hobby shop with everything you need, including all the popular brands. Underground Raceway and Hobbies has kits for land, sea, and air. Cars, boats, planes, you name it. Come see us next to Dick's in the Great Northern Mall in Clay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. From Watkins Glen, New York, riding for Underground RC, number 26, Braden Castellaneta. From Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From Happy Valley, Oregon, riding for BPC, the number 21 of Chase Blakely. From Oslo, Norway, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, number 3, Dennis Fjellberg. Out of Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From Tampa, Florida, riding for Underground RC, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, your defending Supercross champion, number 1, Braden Carter. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. It's a 2022 MotoOption Supercross Series live here on Start Your Systems. We're ready to drop the gate on a new season. My name is Kellen Brower. Sitting alongside me tonight, Andrew Wood. We're going to bring you guys all the action here from Anaheim 1. That is right. We are back inside Angel Stadium, getting ready to go racing for a normal full 17-round Supercross schedule. We're not going to have any of those weird triple header races anymore, but we are going to have triple crown races back this year. A lot of fun to be had for sure. It's been a crazy basically off season since that final round, A-Wood. We had Leclerc and Lang going at it all the way down to the end of outdoors, and obviously we saw that Lang ended up winning the title. We heard Leclerc might retire, but it does look like Leclerc's back here tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Leclerc to come back here tonight and be racing with us, but you see him right at the end there. He kind of jumped up in the qualifying standings there, so should be a pretty good night, and he came in qualifying fifth, so I really don't fifth or sixth, I think, and I really don't see him being too far off the top times. He's about a second off your top qualifiers, but overall, I think you'll see him up there in the mix. He knows how to race, and he'll be there no matter what tonight.
Yeah, it does actually seem like a very stacked group of riders that are going to go racing here this season in the 450 class. And, of course, they're all chasing new champion Braden Carter, the number one machine. Going to be interesting to see. This is another kind of trend that we're seeing happen. Another first-time 450 Supercross champion. I think this is the fifth year in a row that we've had it. What is it going to take for Carter this year, you think, to just go back-to-back and end up on top again?
So I think Carter just kind of has to take what he's learned from last year and just go out there, keep a level head. You've seen some guys go out there, Walter Gebhardt in past years, kind of get too hot-headed at certain times and just kind of push out of their limits. But Braden Carter, as you see him coming in here qualifying half a second faster than Payson Johnson, you do have some amateurs coming up, or not amateurs, but 250 riders coming up. Payson Johnson, Logan Leitzel, Colby Eaglin kind of getting in the mix. Trying to play spoiler over all those other guys, past champions, Haley, Leclerc, Lang, and Carter, trying to get in the mix, and Braden Carter just has to just got to hold those guys off this year.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how it all shakes down. Here's a look at your qualifying times at the opening round of this championship. Braden Carter says number 9 right there on the screen, but of course he is the defending champion with the number 1 plate. Fastest at a 1 flat .007, so really, really close there to getting into the 59s. Payson Johnson, Logan Leitzel, Colby Eaglin moving up this year to be full-time 450 class guys, so it's going to be good to see them in the mix. And then the defending champions mixed in there. We've got Haley coming in. He is the 2019 champion, I believe, and Leclerc, Haley, was the 2019 champion because Seabolt 2020. And then Leclerc, obviously, he won the title back in 2018. Lang, he's coming fresh off this outdoor title. Jeremy Smith, the winningest MX Simulator rider of all time. This is a stacked group of riders right here.
Yeah, I think so too. And you see there at the top 9, just over 1.1 seconds between them. And I don't think that really matters too much here. It's kind of the guy that can put down the lap time closest to their qualifying time 20 plus times in a row in the race. Haley, Leclerc, Lang, and Smith have all done it time and time again. Braden Carter obviously coming up the championship. But my question would just be the preparedness from some of your people. Jack Haley, Leclerc, who we thought we weren't going to have tonight. How much time have they put in? Tyler Lang coming off the national championship. That's going to heat him up. But how much time has he been putting in the Supercross? We're going to have to see tonight.
We're definitely going to have to see how it all shakes down. Of course, there's also a 250 West division that's kicking off here tonight. And you and I both noticed before we started this broadcast, a lot of foreign flavor mixed into this 250 West division. Jet Holyhead, the rider out of Australia, fastest tonight at a 102.140. We have Grant Harlan mixed in, but then Balzer, he's actually from Denmark. Daniel Irvine, the British rider, mixed in there. We've got Sam Weigman from the Netherlands, Maxime Vanderbeek from Belgium down there in 11th. This is a very interesting mix of riders in this 250 West Coast class.
Yeah, and about the same time spread from the first one. So it's going to be very tight at the front in the racing tonight. A lot of people really close in their qualifying times. Holyhead might have found something out being half a second faster, but you got a lot of people that are really like Magnetti, Shirley, Sullivan, Balzer. They've been around for a long time. Grant Harlan as well. Or actually, he's actually kind of new. Sorry, the name's just been in my head for a long time. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be fireworks. 250 class always is normally the best racing of the night, including the 250 LCQ. So I'm really excited to get started with the racing tonight. And the track, there's one or two spots I don't like, but we do have some big rhythm sections coming in tonight. And so I think it's going to be pretty good. These guys got to be on their game, get their timing, and it's going to be a good start to the season, 2 whoop sections, so we'll see what we got here tonight.
Yeah, it is a very unique track, as you mentioned, those 2 whoop sections, and then a very long start kind of sequence, as you see right in front of us here. The start just kind of to your screen right of the middle goes into this left-handed first corner. There's actually a little bit of a raised hump in the middle of that first corner. Then riders will shoot back down towards the hole shot line on the far right-hand side of your screen. They got a tricky left-handed kind of hip double into the tunnel jump over there. And then later on, a couple corners later, they then come back across the start straight at us on the screen here and loop back through that first turn complex and then exit pretty much about in the middle of the screen just to the left into that whoop section over there. Pretty unique section and something that, we don't see these guys often have to like flat track very much because Supercross, it's bowl corners, a lot of stuff like that. But you're going to have to really test the boundaries of traction here tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, I feel like, a little bit older players, people who have been around for a while, maybe in the 450 class, Jeremy Smith for sure, maybe Jack Haley a little bit. I know that's something my buddy D Mills is really good about. They used to have a lot, I feel like, and the way that this game used to work, a lot of people, especially Vegas tracks, you'd have to flat track, and they kind of had a special type of skill. So we're going to see who can be the best out of that, doing it 20 times in a row consistently. You can easily lose a second or two in a section like that if you just make one little mistake, and it seems dumb because it's such a flat corner, but it's going to be an interesting start. And then a little weird too, I feel like there's a lot of wasted space in the stadium, but don't want to get any Dirtworks guys mad at us tonight. So we'll just keep that down, but it's going to be interesting to see. I bet you there's going to be a lot of passes made there, even though there's not really much happening in there. I think that's going to be a big spot for passing, or at least gaining time, gaining a second on a guy if they make a little mistake. So
yeah, and it also looks like, because there's not as many bowl corners, there's I think 3 total like straight up actual 180-degree bowl corners. Like you said, there's going to be a lot of time lost in these kind of intricate, tighter corners that we're seeing. These guys aren't going to be as able to square up a section or cut down the inside of somebody. They're really going to have to carry their speed through each section and make it happen. Looks like we're just about getting ready to go racing here tonight, though. Of course, we're going to kick it off with 250 West Heat number 1, and these riders are going to go 6 minutes plus a lap, and the top 9 riders will, of course, transfer on to the main event. So here we go. We are getting ready to drop the gate on the new season. Getting a quick look at some of the fresh faces that we're going to see in this 250 West division this year. There's Johan Bordeaux on the Panini Motorsports number 40 machine. Oscar Manias on this brand new formed Danny Pedrosa 26 KTM program. Really cool to see. Cool. Yeah, Danny Pedrosa getting involved a little bit with Sim. Not sure what the connection is there, but regardless of which, still cool to have it in MX Simulator.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting to see some new teams coming in. We've got a lot of the same teams kind of building up, getting bigger. Got some new teams over the last year or two. I know a lot of real-life racing kids, that Stance KTM, kind of SoCal kids kind of doing that. We got this Danny Pedrosa, got some outside people coming in. I think it's good to get some more eyes and outside influence on the sport. One thing I hear with the track I'm looking at is I see a lot of the 90-degree corners. Normally that means it's good for someone who can kind of flat track or do something like that, but it doesn't seem like there's too many passing opportunities as far as one being out of whoops, so you're kind of forced into the same thing. And then the other one after that tunnel jump, kind of just taking the inside, hugging it. So even though there are the 90-degree corners, normally you can kind of capitalize on those, but I feel like maybe not so much here tonight. So there still might be a lot of action in the bowl corners and stuff like that.
All right, well, it is time to leave it all behind us and drop the gate. Anaheim 1, are you guys ready? Let's go racing. It's 250 West, heat number 1. All
right, gate drops. Everyone looking pretty. It's a short start straight. Everyone was looking pretty good, but we got some guys going off the back. Seth Shirley going to take the whole shot.
Tricky little hip jump right there. You see Shirley handle it well, but Shirley on the atom.com, number 23. Riders going down on the tunnel jump. A lot of riders getting stacked up back there, but it is Shirley who's starting to stretch it out front just a little bit. Luke Magnetti, we expect him to fare very well in this 250 West division. He has moved his way right up into second place on the Adept Creative Co. number 19 machine. And it looks like Alec Horn, Johan Bordeaux. We got Manias in the mix, Sam Wegman on the motorsport.com machine. So a good group here at the start, but they're all chasing Seth Shirley here on the atom.com machine.
Yeah, it's so funny. I feel like the starts are so inconsistent for someone with skills as myself, but these guys just seem to get them so consistently. Seth Shirley and Magnetti, the kind of people I thought would be up front here in this heat race, definitely getting off to a good start. And I feel like that inside on the start is going to be something you're going to need, because even if things go bad, you just hug around the inside and you're going to end up good. Shirley getting that hip double really well off the start as he's going to come into the whoop section here, coming back towards that double. Going to cut across, get that jump, and now it's a lot easier to get into this tunnel jump here, but he's got a huge lead already.
Yeah, definitely established an early advantage, like you said, using the inside on that start to his advantage. Very short start straight here tonight. But it's Shirley leading as Magnetti settles back into second place. Different option lines right there. We're seeing Shirley going triple-double, Magnetti double-triple, and then these 250F guys definitely having to stretch it out just a little bit to get that triple in. Looks like Shirley may have made a small mistake, and Magnetti closes back in. It's Alec Horn here in third position for First Turn Films. Unfortunately, 1TF did not get their skin pack done tonight, so there's going to be a couple kind of odd team changes that we're going to see some guys jumping just for skins for one night, but then the 1TF team should have their team pack done by next week, or so I'm told. As we go back to another battle starting to brew back here, D-Mills starting to battle with Sem Wegman for is this the 5 spot now, as they're squaring off each other, and there's more riders getting into the mix here, and it's very close through the midfield.
Yeah, D-Mill's not the most prepared person out there on this racetrack right now, but he's been around for so long. He's got the skills. I think he'll, unless there's a big blow-up, he'll put it in the main event for sure straight out of this heat race, as he almost goes over the bars, as I'm talking about. And Wegman trying to get inside him. I don't think he's going to be able to make it stick right here. But, yeah, these 250s, you said, as Wegman clips a bail and goes down right there, these 250s are having to do a little bit of different option lanes. I haven't ridden it on both bikes myself, but they definitely are having to stretch and switch it up a little bit here, making these 2 rhythm sections just a little bit tricky when you can't get that triple out of the corner right there as consistent as you would like. Definitely makes it a little bit more stressful every time you come to that corner on the track.
Well, Wegman definitely made a lot of mistakes right there, and he has now drifted his way back into the final transfer spot. He is running in P9 right now. He's given chase to Charles Gable, the privateer effort on the 396. He's going to go down, though, so Gable hits the deck. That will promote Emmett Sund into the final transfer spot, but then he lands on Wegman, goes up into 8th spot. That allows Reese Harris through. We got 3 wide battling for 9th right now. That allows your fastest qualifier, Jet Holyhead. He was in this heat race, and he got an awful start. He has just now found his way back into a transfer spot, but certainly not the way you want to get your night kicked off after qualifying fastest.
Yeah, Holyhead making some moves here, and he had a line where they go, ooh, he's getting a little sketchy there through the whoops. Those whoops look big, but a little scary. Normally the bigger ones, bigger, more rounded, they're almost easier to go through, but when you get a guy who qualifies first, unless they're on the ground 18 times, by the 4th lap and still in 20th, they're pretty much going to make it. But the only thing is you lead yourself into more situations like that where Emmett Sund's going to go down, and that can just get you caught up. So Holyhead's going to get back and get in the main, definitely be able to work his way up. But his speed should show here. We'll see how consistently he can start dropping lap times. He's in 8th place. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get up around 5th or 4th as he's coming through the racetrack. But it is fun to watch someone who's qualifying about 6/10 faster than everyone else kind of attack the track as you come through. They do this rhythm right here. I think they go double in and then they go over this table, but it's a little tricky timing getting on that downside and then tripling out. Definitely the faster line for the 250 guys. I'm sure the 450 guys will be a little bit different, but it is interesting to watch the fastest qualifier attack the track a little bit differently than everyone else on the racetrack.
Yeah, and Holyhead, like you said, starting to make some progress as he gets around Johan Bordeaux. So Bordeaux, he moves his way back into 8th spot now. It's Brady Stanley who's moved up into the final transfer spot. The Jack Daniels Racing Machine getting into the mix here. And Brady Stanley, kind of an OG throwback here. The 543 used to be career number 22, and he comes out and races every once in a while. The rider out of Australia, as he almost shorts that triple in, going to ruin his timing a little bit. Here comes Daniel Irvine trying to steal this final transfer spot away, and he's going to do so. A mistake there up the inside as Stanley slid it down. He is going to have to go back to work and try to make this pass back on Irvine.
Yeah, Stanley's still got a lot more time. I think he'll be able to get himself up there, and no, he's not. He's going to go down. He's still alive, though. So it's one of the things, though, the whole JDR team, I feel like there's so many great guys on it. He used to be number 22 for about 6-7 years, but it's kind of a team that's just kind of taking it easy, maybe not putting in as much preparation as they need to. So you'll see a little bit less consistency. There has kind of been a changing of the guard. These younger guys, Daniel Irvine has been strong in the last couple of years. He's coming up, but I mean, it's just these heat races too at the opener, you never know what's going to happen, and the LCQs might show something completely different. As the guys who've been around for a long time get in that racing mode, they're just going to easily get in later. So there's definitely, I wouldn't take these heats as exactly what's going to happen tonight or for the rest of the year.
Sounds like we may have a lead change. No, Shirley still leading from Horn, so he's gotten away just a little bit, and in that group, D-Mills has slid a little ways back. Manias also dropped a few positions, so they are 3rd and 4th now. And Holyhead, he's worked his way all the way up into 5th now. You might be dead on the money. He might end up in 4th or even better in this one, as he now closes up onto Manias. The white flag is waving. Your race leader, Seth Shirley, takes to the whoop section in the background, but eyes on your fastest qualifier, Jet Holyhead, as he closes up on the Spaniard, Oscar Manias, for this 4th position.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a move here and even get up close to D-Mills, depending on if there's any mistakes there. But really shocked to see, or not shocked to see, happy to see Seth Shirley hold on to this thing from the start and just kind of get up there and hold a commanding lead. But we're watching Holyhead right now, so he's going to go double triple here. You see the difference, but that double triple is going to let him get inside and make that pass there.
And he punted Manias over the berm, gave him the old business. And out of the Davalos bales, this might cost Manias a transfer spot. He's taking a while to get going.
Is that Stanley?
Yeah, Stanley just went by, and Stanley does go up into 9th. So an aggressive block pass for Holyhead, going to push Manias out, and he might go down again, making contact with Sam Weigman there. Wow, that was pretty crazy, though. As we come back to our race leader, Seth Shirley brings us home. 250 West, heat number 1 goes to Seth Shirley.
D-Mills coming along in 2nd, surprisingly. He was in 3rd. Didn't think he was going to hold on to it, but that's my best friend. He may be better than me at golf, but it's okay. We got Holyhead, though, all the way up to 3rd with that pass, and that was just a great, clean little block pass there. I think he just landed that quad over the triple over the corner, by the way. That was pretty smooth. Luke Magnetti, Aaron Rockefeller, Brady Stanley, and that's going to be Alec Horn coming in 9th place and got a pretty good gap back to 10th place, so don't see that going the way on cuts. So, who got screwed? Where's he at? He's
Manias out there.
Manias just got, bummer, but that is the downside, too, with if you're having a lot more Euros and Australians, it's just a kind of thing with the online racing.
And that was probably worst case scenario, too, Australian versus Spanish. They're pretty much on the complete opposite sides of the world.
Try playing Call of Duty with someone like that, you're not hitting a shot. So imagine how it is in the racing world, you kind of get screwed, but that pass to me was just a great pass for 2nd. He didn't hit him, crazy hard. It's just kind of luck of the draw here, and that just shows you how close that top 9 is.
Whoa!
Look at that.
Aaron Rockefeller drops from 6th to 11th, so he gets bumped. Stanley ends up 7th, Horn 8th. Weigman drops to 10th. Manias made the main on cuts. He gets 9th out of this. Unbelievable turn of events. I was just about to comment how Alec Horn had kind of thrown that one away because he was in 2nd place, almost lost a transfer spot. He ends up 8th in this one, but holy smokes, Manias gifted a spot to the main event on cuts.
Yeah, definitely really lucky, and he was just hating life for a second there, and getting a gift like that is just so nice when think, okay, I gotta wait, I gotta go through all these heat races, I gotta be ready to get the LCQ, and that's my one shot to get into the main event tonight. And just to get that gift in the 9th place like that, after having your heart broken, he's got to be feeling pretty good right now. But that's awesome. That's super good to see. And I wanted to point out, look at the gap from 3rd to 10th pretty much right now, even with the cuts. You got 1 second pretty much between all of those guys. That's how close the racing is here. And then you look up to Seth Shirley, who had an 11.5 second lead on these guys, just absolutely dominated them. And I'm excited to see who does that in Heat 2. And because that's probably going to be our battle here for the night, for the main event. So congrats to Seth Shirley on that great race. And everyone else, though, is so close. The talent is not too far spread apart. So that's really exciting for the rest of the season here as well.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I was going to make, with Horn dropping from 2nd down to 9th. And then we saw, Manias getting sent over a berm, goes from battling for 3rd to 11th. Officially on the finish, he gets 9th, but falls all the way back to 11th. those guys were really close. And I think it's showing that this racetrack, there's not many separators. I mean, if you can get a triple in here or do something a little bit better there, but these guys are struggling to find time. Looks like Holyhead was really the only guy that made significant moves through the pack throughout the race.
Yeah, definitely. That just shows too, if he gets a start and getting himself into that third place position, getting a good gate pick for the main event, he's going to be, top 6 gate pick guaranteed in the main event. I'd be scared if I was someone like Seth Shirley, because you don't want him to do that after you saw he just gained all his time. Yeah, you do have a big lead on him, 11 plus seconds going into the end of that race, but what if he starts right up there next to you? You never know what's going to happen. And then so we're going to about see Heat 2 here and see what happens.
Exactly. And for those asking in chat, or maybe if you haven't seen MX Simulator Racing before, the cut system or penalty system is actually a system that was included in the game by game creator Josh Vanderhoof that basically penalizes you based on standard deviation, the time that you gain from going from one timing gate on the track to another timing gate. So the riders are all scored based on these little timing loops throughout the track. And if they miss 2 or 3 timing loops at a time and cut to, if they're at gate 1 and they go all the way to gate 4, they use some standard deviation, a little bit of fancy math work in there to determine pretty much how much time they gain. So you saw right there a lot of time lost, and some riders getting the boot out of the race because of it. So we're going to see, I think that probably factor in a little bit more than we probably expect tonight. Not sure what's taking me so long to load back in, but we'll get there. Server's full. Uh-oh. That's not good. Well, I can't get in the server if it's full. Someone's got to let me in.
Server, max players 100, please.
Well, we'll sit here and wait. Hopefully Kohenauer or somebody knows this, because this is going to happen all night long. I've always had to disconnect and reconnect to the servers just because loading everybody's skins in takes a little bit of time to do so. So unfortunately, it looks like we're taking our sweet time here to get going.
There's a way to do max racers and max players too, right? Or have something locked in for a certain spot.
Well, normally I used to have a reserved spot in the server, but I'm not sure what's going on right now. So we'll wait it out. We'll see what's going on, and we'll get back to you guys in just a minute. We'll get back in studio here with us right now, though. Of course, Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood joining you guys here tonight. A-Wood's in the chill mode here tonight. He's on
camera now. I can't tell when you go to here. I'm like, I got to get back in my
but yeah, first heat race of the night is done. It was a great race at that as well, and we're looking forward to seeing more races here tonight. The track is shaping up well. Of course, we're excited to have all you guys here with us tonight. It's a great, kind of anniversary coming back here at Anaheim 1 every year. I know we didn't have it last year, but it just feels like this is kind of the big, party everybody comes to and has a good time. We got a lot of live viewers here, so that's really cool. Thanks, guys, so much for that. And, honestly, I'm just excited to get back racing. Not only this, but of course Anaheim 1 in real life coming up this weekend. It's that time of the year, Wood. It's a good time.
I'm so excited. I got my tickets. I've got my plans, what I'm going to do all day, mapped out. And also, what I'm disappointed in is when they asked JT on Pulp Show this week, they're like, hey, what do you do? What do you tell a fan who wants to go make the most of a Supercross race? I feel like they dropped the ball on that one. I feel like you need to be time scheduled. I've got get there 11:40. Get in at noon, watch for free practice, watch C riders, get in the pits, do this. I'm like, come on, give them a mapped out schedule, because I feel like I've got it dialed after my whole life. Watch practice, go to the pits, then go have a drink at Carl Strauss across the street or something, go get dinner, go get, do all these things. And they're just just, I don't know. I was a little bummed on that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking as you're getting ready for the weekend. I'm like, what's my plan for the night? We do have some donations here.
Oh, hey, Wood, you're going to read out a couple donations for us.
We got first one, Braxton Knapp, $5. Let's get it. Then we got Dylan Long with 50 Aussie dollars, which I don't know if that's $1 million in US or if that's $3. So it goes one or two of the ways. And that says A-Wood smells, which I told him I showered today.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did shower right before I came here, so I'm a little sad about that, but it's okay. I love you. And then Agris Sixna with 10 euros. So I just really, seeing 500 views, knowing that people still want to come and watch us do this stuff is awesome. And that the racing, even though we're not into it as much anymore as far as the racing side, that there's a whole new group of people that wants to come, and we see all these new names racing on the track. and then coming and watching us and people still supporting and showing that is just super, super exciting. So
yeah, it means a lot to us, guys. So thanks so much again for tuning in each and every year. Already on to our 13th year of MotoOption Supercross. Crazy to think it's been this long. But yeah, here we go. We're getting revved up to drop the gate again. 250 West, heat number 2 on the line. Let's drop the gate again in Anaheim.
And no real big jumps again. Let's see if someone could get that wheelie. We do have a Yamaha coming up the inside. Casey Cochran with a great start there. Same thing. You just get a decent start, decent jump. You get up that inside, and you can hold on to that and get a nice little hole shot. We've got a Suzuki coming up right behind him.
Oh, it's a good mix right there. Balzer.
Balzer.
Oh, he's jumping over top. Different lines right there again coming into play, but that triple out maybe looks like it's just a little bit faster.
Yeah, that triple out just kind of keeps you lower too, and that's how we saw that pass made by Holyhead in the first one. Is you see someone in third go down, wash the front a little bit right there. But so that double triple, I think if you're going to make a pass or try to defend, is going to be the move if you have the time. But Tanner Thorson back here, about 5th place. Look how tight this is from third all the way back to about 9th or 10th right there. We got 7 dudes in the whoops at one time.
Oh, they're getting stacked up a little bit. Schwerdner ran, I think that might have been Thorson high, and now Matt Cromie trying to get in the mix. He jumps off the track, and everybody's shifting positions early on. Is this going to cause some chaos a little bit? Going down.
I think.
That was trying to...
Swanson.
Yeah, Ryan Swanson hitting the deck. Or no, excuse me, that was Matt Cromie. You're right. So Matt Cromie going down.
Chaos.
Good to see Matt Cromie back racing too, former multi-time winner in this class and actually runner-up in the series, I think back in 2014. So it's been a while since he was out here in the mix. Back to our leaders though, and they are absolutely tossing. Cochran and Balls are going at it right now here in Anaheim.
Definitely love to see the new blood and old blood. Balzer's been around for a while, but just tossing it actually off these triples, it makes me happy. You know, that's all I've ever cared about was people throwing big whips. So these guys still laying it down, and I mean, when you got a steep triple like that, that is the best thing to do, scrub all that speed. But these guys have definitely already separated themselves. That's the whole thing about getting a good start in these heat races, getting yourself away from all that drama. You saw these guys get clogged up in that corner last lap. People making mistakes, but Cochran doing the same thing we saw Seth Shirley do in the first heat. Just kind of, oh my God.
Trying to tire it down. Oh, lays it down. That's going to give us a new leader. Balzer goes to the front. Was just about to start talking about how Casey Cochran now moving basically into his second full year as a pro. Obviously won a race last year. I think it was Indy 3 that he was able to break through for a race victory. Likely wants to step up and battle for this championship, but a little mistake like that going to cost him here in this heat race. And now another rider that we assume will factor into this championship this year, Luke Sullivan on the first turn films machine. He's jumping into the inside here, trying to get Cochran squared up, but doesn't quite get it done just yet. Terrific battle for second. And getting into the mix here comes Maxime Vanderbeek on the Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda, trying to get down the inside, might make that pass for third, and he does, up the inside of Luke Sullivan.
Yeah, Sullivan left that door open a little bit, just going into that 90, and that is one of the few coming into those, coming out of that rhythm section. Cochran goes down, going to pull up Vanderbeek, and that's going to be
Ryan Pinkerton coming through. Kerr went by, Thorson. We got Moicaron and Riley Hewen getting into the mix here, with Vanderbeek now getting up right in front of these guys. So Vanderbeek, he stayed in a transfer spot. He's falling back to 8th, and Cochran now finds himself in 9th with the 311 of Lucas Schwertner getting in the mix. Schwertner down the inside is actually going to pass Cochran and get into 9th place. What a turn of events.
Yeah, definitely big changes this lap as things go on. But Cochran had such a solid start. I don't see him being unable to get back into a qualifying or a transfer position as his teammate tries to come up along the inside. But Schwertner going to go long right there and leave the door open almost. But look at this huge gap they've got in front of them. These guys going back and forth. Macaron doing that triple double in. So not any passes really being made, but let's see what happens here. They both elect to go for double in, and behind them we get a triple, and that's going to easily give Ryan Schwertner the spot over those guys. So that just shows you how much getting those big lines matters on the 250.
Yeah, Schwertner is going to take advantage of it. He's going to lay it down, that hump in the corner. Seems like these guys are getting caught out a little bit by that, but as you said, everybody is still so close, looking very similar to what we saw in the first 250 West heat race. Obviously, our leader getting away a little bit, similar to what we saw out of Shirley, as Balzer now holds a 4.2 second lead over Sullivan, but pretty much everybody else behind them is nose to tail still. We got Kerr, we got Vanderbeek, Thorson just off the front of this group. He's in 4th. Is a little mistake there from Kerr is going to allow Vanderbeek maybe to pull alongside in the whoops. Not quite just yet, but you can see these two definitely looking to square up and do a battle. Now Vanderbeek up the inside goes around Kerr, moves his way up into 5th spot. Here's Schwartner, then Antoine Macaron, and Riley Hewen right here in the mix as well. Here comes Cochran. He is also trying to make a pass, but is going to back out of the triple. Hewen closing up a little bit there on Antoine Macaron. Might get around the outside as Antoine almost goes down, and here comes Cochran trying to make a pass as well.
Yeah, Cochran been kind of waiting back there, not trying to push it too much. Where you saw Alex Kerr get passed over that tabletop step-up thing over there, the tunnel jump, I don't see many passes happening there unless you do what Kerr did and kind of casing that. But right now we're seeing Macaron kind of stuff this, and it's easily going to give Cochran the pass on him. And it's just, those are the types of things you can't make mistakes. All you have to do if you get a good start in these heat races is just kind of hold that line. You can ride a few seconds a lap slower sometimes, you know. You just have to get those lines when someone's on you, because those are the things that let someone like Cochran just move back up. And I think not that we're going to see exactly what Holyhead did and see him get all the way back up, because he's looking like he's got a little bit of nerves and jitters here. But he's just that little bit better than you, and you can't try to go for those crazy rhythms or something you're not comfortable with to get in the main event here. So, I mean, Cochran's going to keep making moves here, I think, for sure. But he's also going for those big lines, and the way he's looking right now, I'm a little nervous because he's kind of casing things, getting a little bit sketchy sometimes, looking like how I ride.
Definitely a little bit loose, and he's trying to catch up to Riley Hewen up here. Schwartner still just in front of these guys as Kerr gets a kick at the end of the whoops, but corrals it together nicely. Then we have Maxime Vanderbeek trying to get around Tanner Thorson, perhaps. A little battle here for 4th position as Balzer has taken the white flag out front. It's Sullivan in 2nd, Pinkerton in 3rd, and this battle right here is Thorson is going to put Vanderbeek on the deck, and he's going to lose a couple of spots because of that. As Schwartner goes through with Alex Kerr, Schwartner gets around Kerr and up the inside. Vanderbeek trying to get in the mix as well. So everybody's shuffling a little bit of positions here coming into the final lap of this heat race. But it does seem like these guys maybe have it a little bit more sorted than we saw in the first heat race. It is still close though for this final transfer spot. Casey Cochran dealing with Moicaron and Seth Crotty. Look at this. Moicaron up the inside, not going to get a pass done just yet. But this is anybody's race for this final transfer spot. Look at this. Moicaron triples up the inside. He's going to cut the absolute bejesus out of the track. That's going to lose him a lot of time on cut, so he's going to have to hope for some help here. But he's going to try to at least pass Cochran on track first. Look at this before the whoops. Excuse me, he pushes Cochran off the side of the track. I kind of sneezed because I was so excited. Up front, though, it is going to be a victory for Rasmus Balzer. I've kind of gotten thrown out of sorts here a little bit. But back to this final transfer spot.
I don't really
Seth
know.
Crotty got around Moicaron. Moicaron up the inside into the final corner. Another rider went down. It was Kerr. So what is going to happen with cuts? Crotty comes across 8th. Moicaron there in 9th. And Cochran ends up in 10th. Kerr absolutely blew it. Ends up in 11th. It's going to be Schaefer right here in 12th, 13th for K-Carp. Posty. Chromie not going to the main. Holden Coat back here. Thomas Wilcox, Jack Gatland, Alex Heckman, Ryan Swanson. That is your running order throughout the field here. But wow, what a finale to that one.
So Macaron made it, but I think cuts are going to screw him. And if they don't, I think RF may have to lay down the hammer on him because, yep, there it is.
All right, cuts are in.
Oh, but Cochran is out.
Yeah, Cochran is out as well. So who jumped in? Seth Crotty ends up in 8th. Who jumped up? Oh, Alex Kerr did get back into 9th.
0.95 himself.
So 2 people in Manias and Kerr who both crashed on the last lap and looked like they were not going to make it now get in because of cuts. And that's going to send Casey Cochran, Austin Schaefer to the LCQ. Antoine Moicaron goes there as well. But that's a big one for Casey Cochran to miss out on. K-Carp also, Chris Post, Matt Chromie, Holden Coat, Thomas Wilcox, Jack Gatland. Man, there is some heavy hitters going to this LCQ just from this heat race alone. But that is going to be absolutely insane to see. Of course, your winner, though, was the Great Dane. It was Rasmus Balzer here on this Romus Suzuki. Pretty cool setup. I like this one. There's been a lot more Suzukis
really
coming
clean.
out this year, too. And yeah, it definitely looks clean.
Looks like Bar X almost. Like, I don't know I saw him ride, but I can't remember what they were wearing. But I love the super black and yellow Suzuki. I think it looks good, like Bumblebee style. But congrats to Balzer. Not as big of a gap as I thought that they would have, or whoever won this heat coming in, kind of seeing some equals. So maybe you start to lean a little bit more towards the first heat guys, Seth Shirley, and Holyhead in there. But that was a crazy race. And one thing for sure too is like this 250 class is just all over the place, and there's not too many crazy standouts, which I feel like you see a lot of time. Is you got a couple guys who are they're just leaps and bounds ahead. You got that 1 and 2. Maybe we see that coming into the main event, longer race, all the guys combined. But as far as right now, I can't see one person I think that's just going to run away with this. And also, we didn't really have time to go into it, but there was a lot of big names, especially in that heat, that I feel like should have been easily in through the heat and weren't there, whether it's lack of prep, just not caring, bad start. Sometimes you just have a bad race. Like, it happens. Sometimes it happens at A1. Sometimes it happens mid-season. But I think I'm a little bit surprised as some of the guys that didn't make it in through that heat race.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very stacked LCQ because of that. We have the guys mixed in, of course, from the first heat race. For those of you new to MotoOption Supercross or maybe Supercross in general, this is all heat racing action right now. So none of this counts for points, but all of these riders are trying to qualify for the main events where points are earned. And a little bit later tonight, we'll have a 250 West main event that goes 15 minutes plus a lap and a 450 main event that goes 20 minutes plus a lap, both, of course, round 1 of their championships respectively. So these guys are trying to qualify in right now. And now, moving to the big dogs. It's a 450 class out here. We got T-Lane, Caleb Hall, Ash Deering, Jaden Wilson, Neil Fitzpatrick, Ethan Parks, Jeremy Siebold, former champion, mixed in here. Chase Blakely, Jack Haley, another former champion. Braden Castellaneta. We got Dennis Fjellberg, Colby Eaglin. There is your defending champion, Braden Carter. Will Whiteley also up here. Jeremy Smith on the 4. Ethan Gerst, Seth Carr, Tanner Rogers, and Joseph Pilsner going to the line here tonight. This is a very, very stacked heat race. A lot of former champions, and of course our defending champion in this one as well. Yeah,
I felt like you were just reading off the names of a main event lineup here tonight. So many past champions, so many low numbers just going through. And if someone's got a high number, chances are they took a year or two off and they lost their number. But Braden Carter coming in with the red plate, looking great. That's such a good setup. Maybe minus the monster logo, but that's okay. Just the green and the red throws it off. But man, Phil's Honda looking so good. Braden Carter, though, I mean, coming out top qualifier, you're just kind of trying to show yourself. That SYS bike does look real good right there on Jeremy Smith, by the way. But
you can't be that biased.
No, I'm not.
You're on the team now.
You can't always pick your friends, Haywood.
Yeah, come on.
But no, it's crazy just the names that you name off and the time that these people have been racing, and so many of them are still so good. We're going to see here, though, tonight, you never really know how much time people have been putting in. Are they kind of like on their way out? Are they still trying as hard as ever? You know that you're going to have Seabolt and these guys trying to come and go for throats. So this is just like 450 racing. It's a lot less craziness as far as like just people being sketchy, and a lot less just gnarly. So I'm really pumped for this, and you're going to take us away to this great drop.
Yeah, here we go, folks. This is what it's all about right here. The 450 Supercross class in MotoOption Supercross, ready to drop the gate. Here it is, 450 Heat 1. They are off and running. Who's going to get that start? Carter, great jump out of the middle, going to control, but he actually slid out, and he's going to go down. T-Lang ends up with the whole shot. Lang, Smith, Fjellberg, 5-4-3 in your program book, a 1-2-3 on the racetrack, but now Fjellberg goes down as Lang opens up a small gap. Smith in second. Looks like Seabolt might be in third.
T-Lang doing exactly what I would try to do is if you don't have the best gate pick, you're third or fourth there, get a jump that's, a bike length behind the guy in front of you. If Braden Carter didn't go down, worst case scenario, he's second on that start. And now Braden Carter did go down, and look at that. He's got 4 bike lengths on top of the next guy coming into this, and he can really control this race. Coming off that outdoor championship, he's fired up and getting 2 in a row. A little bit harder to go from Supercross to outdoors, but outdoors to Supercross, I think T-Lang, if he can come out here and show us what he has and drop some fast lap times, I'm really excited, but it looks like he's already getting pulled up on a little bit by Siebold.
Siebold's catching him, and Carter, he went all the way back to 12th after that early fall. Fjellberg down in 17th in the early runnings. All eyes on the battle out front, though. T-Lang, your reigning 450 national champion against Jeremy Siebold, the 2020 MotoOption Supercross champion, battling here in 450 Heat 1 at Anaheim. Siebold looks to be the aggressor in this one. He is caught Lang in a hurry. They have both pulled away from the rest of the field, but a little bit of a case there on the tunnel jump allows Lang to get back away a little bit. It's Smith still back there in P3, but obviously everybody's kind of getting spread out. I think that's Blakely back there in 4th. And Siebold trying to keep close tabs, but Lang has stretched it back out just a little bit here.
Yeah, Siebold pulling up a little bit. Jeremy Smith, I don't know how much prep. I haven't talked to most of these guys that they've had, so it's always interesting to come in and see. But he's right on it, and he's coming up on Siebold right now, looking like he's ready to make a move. You know, once you get inside that like 2 bike length zone in the 450 class, you're looking for one mistake like that. He kind of makes a mistake too. It looks like he's going to get the triple out, and Chase B with a great run. That's a twofer.
Around the outside, and now he might triple in and quad pass Smith. No, he's going to have to just back out of the challenge a little bit. So Smith holds on for second. Blakely moves to third. Siebold fourth. Neil Fitzpatrick, he's getting into the mix here in fifth. They're all still chasing Lang, but a great battle for second between many former winners and champions in this series, as they're all still chasing Lang. But look at how close this is. Anybody's race right here for this second spot. And here comes the defending champ, Carter. He is now caught up to the back of Fitzpatrick. He's going to go dualies over the Supercross triple, first of the year. Let's go. As he gets down the inside, going to case the triple. And did Chase Blakely just disappear? I think he did. No, he's right up here just in front of Siebold.
I'm sad I missed that dualies. But Chase B is one of those people, too. He literally has ran the Jason Anderson copy graphics for the last 3 years. Jason Anderson changed teams, and so does he. And I feel like his attitude is the exact same. His ID acts like he doesn't care, but he totally does. And just the fact that the speed he's showing shows it. But look at that. Siebold, just as he got past him, he got past 2 people the time before. Siebold goes and does the same thing, and that's Braden Carter tripling past. But Chase B's going to block it and take him down. Not dirty at all.
I'll tell you what, I was actually eyeing up how the option lines worked right there. I think Blakely's got it wrong. He's trying to go triple quad single, and it looked like he lost a lot of time to Carter in the process, but then obviously got him back with a block pass right there. So a little bit of aggression coming out of Blakely early on, but like you said, all is fair in the end. So Carter slips back to 5th. You got Trevor Spencer now in 6th as Fitzpatrick went down before the finish line jump. Ash Deering moves to 7th. Caleb Hall finds his way up into 8th spot, and Ethan Gerst rounds out the final transfer spot. There is Fjellberg on the 3. He's getting into the mix. Eagland, former 250 Supercross champion, up here in the 450 class now. Also outside looking in, so some big names still trying to make it through here with about a couple minutes left to go, plus a lap.
Yeah, so having not ridden this track myself, I'm trying to look at the differences between the 250 and 450 class, the lines they're taking and what kind of works. As Eagland's going to go a little bit weird there in that corner, but still just they're so good going right to left and back over to the corner. But sometimes the qualifying line that you have is not the best racing line. Just because it gets you around the track faster is what the time says. Doesn't put you in the right positions.
Down with Gerst.
Yeah, Fjellberg going down, taking a different line, falling right in front of Gerst, and Gerst losing not only 1, but 2 spots coming into that, but Gerst collecting himself now. But it definitely changes how you have to ride these things, and you realize there's a better racing line, even though it might not be faster if you're just throwing down hot laps. And we see our first glimpse of Jack Haley coming up into the mix.
Yeah, he's just moved up into 10th spot, so another former series champion and very fast all-around rider. Outside looking in, it's Eagland who moved up into the final transfer spot. He's trying to close up to chase Blakely, so Blakely lost some spots, as did Braden Carter. Caleb Hall moved forward. Ash Deering got around those guys as well. So it looks like perhaps Carter and Blakely got back together again, because they have both fallen now outside of the top 5, and they're trying to fight their way back into it. Here comes Carter, going to try to split the difference down the inside, up the inside there. Going to make that pass stick? No, not quite just yet. 33 of Caleb Hall down the inside might get it back on him. And, oh, so close in and out of the final corner as they're closing up on Trevor Spencer over the finish line jump.
So interesting watching these 450s hit that last one as Carter tries to go inside, wheelies in about 3 whoops into the whoop section, and somehow keeps the speed up on Trevor Spencer. But the way that these 450s are hitting that last rhythm section before the finish line is absolutely mind-blowing. Dooley!
Oh Oh my goodness, Carter absolutely threw filth on that triple too. He was way upside down, trying to get around Trevor Spencer for this fourth position now. Look at this up the inside. Spencer left the door open, and Carter's going to take full advantage down the inside into fourth. They're still chasing these guys. Lang lost the lead. Jeremy Smith has gone to the front. The number 4 SYS Heckman Productions machine leading here in Anaheim as Lang goes back around Seabolt. So this is a complete change at the front. Not sure what happened to Lang, but he's making a couple more mistakes as well.
So as we come up, as Lang's going to get passed by Seabolt right here, you see these 450 guys, they're doing the same line as the 250 riders. It's a smaller line, but what they're doing is they're going long on the triple over the table, and they're kind of casing the quad. And that's letting them kind of just triple bounce into the corner, and that's so much faster for them. And back in the pack, we see a lot of guys mixing that up and kind of switching it back and forth. Whereas up here in the top 3, you've got the fastest guys that are totally away from them, from everyone else. They're all doing the exact same thing, and that shows you that that's the fastest line. That's what's getting them away from these guys. The rest of the track too, but these guys definitely have found something else in that last rhythm that other people's haven't. But T. Lang was making a push there, getting a little bit closer as you see him push the front a little bit, still able to hold it. But these guys are now spread out. Seabolt is just back chasing Jeremy Smith, who held himself there in second place, was able to capitalize. Here he is in the last rhythm section. He's going to double go. Oh, he's actually going.
Yeah, on-off. Consistent rider is Jeremy Smith. Every year he comes out and shines, and he does it again, wins 450 heat number 1 here at Anaheim 1. Jeremy Seabolt comes across the line in second place. Lang will get third in this one. Trevor Spencer over the line. He'll get fourth. Caleb Hall coming to the line in fifth, with Blakely just edging out Eaglin for sixth. Carter will go through to the main, but he was eighth, so he'll have a rough outside gate pick. And Gerst looks like he is going to end up with that final transfer spot as Seth Carr, first man out. Pilsner also not going through. Deering up alongside Fitzpatrick. Those two are going to miss out as well. Tanner Rogers, Dennis Fjellberg's going to the LCQ. Jack Haley, rough time there for Haley here tonight. Will Whiteley, Braden Castellaneta, Jaden Wilson, Ethan Parks, big names just like we saw in the 250 class going to the LCQ. And already it's starting to look like a situation where there's going to be some people pretty unhappy if they go home early. Not enough spots to fill in this main event out of that LCQ.
Yeah, I don't know if we had any positions changed because of cuts as they're already in. We could check those right now. It looks like everything's going to be the same. I do have an LCQ prediction that Jack Haley number 2 and Dennis Fjellberg number 3 will either make it into the main or they will be gone within a half a lap after a bad start. But Jeremy Smith, man, look at that SYS. Now I get to talk about him.
I know.
Beautiful A-Stars gear. Look at that. Oh, look at that
man.
Honda. Just so good.
Proud dad moment
red
right
on
here.
red. Proud dad.
I believe this is the first ever heat race win for our team, so I'm going to soak this one in a little bit. I can't remember. If we did have a heat race win, it would have had to have been me back in 2016 maybe. But it's been a while. Because, we just, we had Heckman. He's been great. Parks has been great. But we have not had a heat race win. So how about Jeremy Smith debut with our team?
It's funny because he's kind of
crushing it. He's
been around for so long, but he hasn't been on the team. And he's also, I feel like, just coming back. Like he's focused so much on his racing career in real life, and it's so funny just see a guy and they just never lose it. Like it's like when I watch Haley take 9 months off and then go out and just destroy something that I thought, do something that couldn't be done, or Burkeen, or there's these greats of people who just come back and they're like, oh, I haven't played in 2 years. Let me just go and just be the best still. And it's just, they can do that on a real dirt bike too. If you're someone like him, you just see that fast old pro, he hops on the bike, he's super fast. That's kind of how it is. But he just won a 450 heat at A1 where you have everyone who's playing the game back again, half of it, but still. And there were so many names, I don't even know who's left for Heat 2, but I know we're going to show it, and 18 of the guys are going to be like, yeah, they should be in the main event.
Well, hey, I do know who's going to be in this heat race. It's going to be Alexis Leclerc here tonight racing.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool to see that he has come back. Let's see if I even have his skins. I probably don't, to be honest with you. Is he here? Uh-oh.
Probably not. Pacing. Probably just had to come up and...
Oh, no, he is here. He is here. I don't have his skins because... Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't have expected the Safe Moon team to have him out yet, but Leclerc is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Hubbard. Sorry, I didn't cut you off. I'm excited to see Hubbard and Leitzel.
Bryce Whelan, yeah, Root, former series champion back in 2015. He is here tonight. Bob Joe, everybody's favorite. Bob Joe, Jack Daniels Racing. He's here tonight. Dominic Tiberino, Braden Tharp, Trevor Burns, Devin Davis, Finn Collins. There's Logan Leitzel. You were talking about him. Roy Mitchell, Zoa Cross, Benjamin Saves. Payson Johnson, a lot of expectations, I think, put on the shoulders of Payson Johnson. We saw what he was capable of in the 450 class last year with the controversial Houston race, but then, came back and raced some of the, I think he raced in like Atlanta and a couple other places like that and did very well on a 450. So I think a lot of people are expecting some big things out of the Panini Motorsports number 51 this year. All right, final heat race of the night. 6 minutes plus a lap, top 9 going to the main event. Let's see who is going to come out on top in this one. And then, of course, those dreaded last chance qualifiers. Well, not dreaded for us. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I can't wait.
But right here, right now, it's the 450 SX Heat number 2 live on Start Your Systems. Let's get those revs up and get ready to drop the gate here in Anaheim.
Payson Johnson with not the best start up the inside, but he is going to be able to hug that inside, and he actually catches a wheel.
Down.
So going to go down there. Who is going to be up front? Alexis. Wow, not surprised.
Well, the last time we saw Leclerc racing in a professional sense was when he was riding off the track and out of the server at the final round of the 2021 National Championship after many, many takeouts and other frustrations being caused by fellow riders. It cost him that 2021 National Championship, and many theorized that Leclerc would not be back to race anymore. It sounded like he was considering retirement from the game, but I mean, he is pretty much considered one of, if not the greatest of all time at this point, and he's showing just why right here, practically fresh off the couch, right to the race lead here in Anaheim.
I'm just so not even surprised. Just turn it off, give it to Leclerc, let's go home. No, that's just the way it seems to be, but we got coming up in second here. Looks like we're going to have Hubbard, which is one of our new guys moving up to the 450 class, but always been so consistent. I feel like Hubbard has never had the flash, but he was always so consistent in the 250 class as far as I can remember. And it's just, I think that's going to work out so much better for him in the 450 class. You've got so much more power. You don't have to be that sketchy guy that's kind of going for it. You're just consistent, and you got the power to put yourself up there. So not surprised to see him off to a great start here. And looking back, though, we got some guys out of it in it as we see timing come along. Dominic Tiberino, been around forever, always consistent, kind of like Jeremy Smith. He's just always like in third, and that's where he's going to be, and that's where he is right now. So wouldn't be surprised, or I would be shocked to see these guys drop too far out of this top 5 here that they're in right now. But great starts to these guys and great start to the season as we keep working our way back in the pack. He's being chased by Trevor Burns, which he's got a great start. I feel like we don't normally see him up here too much. Was he in the 250 class before?
Yeah, he won, I believe, Atlanta 2 or 3 on a 250 last year. So definitely was right there in the mix for the 250 class. I believe Burns, we actually expect, will be dropping down to race that 250 East division a little bit later on in the season. So we're getting a fresh taste of him right now on a 450. Battling it out right now with Dominic Tiberino, whom you said always seems to be around, but he's going to be off the side of the track right now and down. So allowing some riders to go through. Roy Mitchell, the first one in line to go by, bringing Zoa Cross with him, Enzo Butigny, and Bryce Whelan right there as well. Leitzel then puts Bob Joe on the ground before finally Tiberino then comes back by. And also in the mix there is Hunter Root, your 2015 champion. Looks like he is trying to get back out here established. It's been a while since we've seen Root win a race, but he was blindingly fast back there in the mid-2010s and trying to make it happen again here tonight in the 2020s.
Yeah, being back there in 10th place, honestly, with how much of a gap he has on both sides, probably a little bit more relaxing here. He's got people in front of him he knows are probably going to go down as we see a move about to happen right in front of him. And there it is.
Riders down.
One or
Zoa
two
Cross
went down.
off the side of the track. Benjamin Saves, almost gets into him.
It's almost just too eeasy now. It's just too predictable. You can just see it happening. You see a guy diving in, you're like, that guy's dead.
That guy's over the berm.
He's
for
done.
Sure.
He's gone. But no, it's like you get into that spot where you're almost in this 450 class. When these guys, look, there's 4 of them over the finish line together, swapping inside, outside. Someone like Hunter Root, he's been around for so long, that might be the best spot for him to be in.
Whoa.
We've got people sliding out,
Root
people
with
swapping.
the scrub of his lifetime, literally dragging exhaust off of the face of that jump right there. Oh, riders going down. Who was that? That was Shields? No, excuse me. That was Bob Joe again. That's the second time in a row he's crashed in that same spot of the track. But yeah, like you said, everybody's so close together right now, and this is just outside of the transfer spots. These guys are not even in transfer just yet, but still so close. As we go back to our race leader, Leclerc, still being tailed by Hubbard, and now Boutigny losing some ground. Battle for fourth brewing, though. Look at that move up the inside. I actually dig that line that Leitzel's taking right there. Inside roll.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
cool.
also think that outside line, you're getting that big rut. That's the only thing I can tell from a road, really, besides maybe a little bit going into the whoops. But that's a huge rut forming from a road there, and letting those guys kind of switch it up. But it's normally you don't get too much of those 90s after whoops with too much action, but it looks like they built that pretty well here tonight, and able to see some action happen and some stuff changes. We see that.
That was Boutigny, I think, getting back on the track, and Roy Mitchell almost coming into contact with him. Leitzel gets a little bit sideways. Yeah, Leitzel right there as well. Boutigny and Trevor Burns just off the front of this group. So all these guys kind of messing around with each other is really allowing our leaders to get away. Leclerc and Hubbard are completely gone at this point. As Burns holds off Boutigny, Leitzel, and Mitchell. There's Tiberino, Whelan, and Saves, and I believe Eklund right now. No, excuse me, he's the first man outside looking in. Benjamin Saves is in that final transfer spot right there.
Yeah, I'm looking at Benjamin Saves. It's great for him, but he's got some pressure from behind him coming up. There's never a train in this 450 class. It never stops. If you're ever in 10th, 11th place, there's always 6 more guys behind you. So you need to work your way up, focus on what's in front of you, and just stay there. Because it goes back all the way. I am surprised by a couple rides here. We got Roy Mitchell still holding on to 6th. Tiberino I thought would be up there, so he's doing great. But Austin Eklund here holding on to the 10th spot, trying to make a push forward, but so many people behind him that I thought would be coming up, as you see across the top of your screen. Hunter Root 11th, Payson Johnson, maybe some nerves in 13th. Devin Davis, he's super consistent in 14th. Bob Joe back there, Trent Adams, it's so surprising. You come in, you think it's going to be all the same, and it's just more stacked, but there's always a little bit of a changing of the guard here, as we might see tonight, and maybe there's just some bad starts and we'll see some difference in the LCQ. But impressive to see some guys and out here like Benjamin Saves trying to push forward here and gaining a little bit of room, but not able to make anything happen yet. But look at that train in front of him. He'll be up there soon.
Crazy. Well, it's typical, like you're talking about with as the rider went down, that was Tiberino. So Saves moves up and Eklund goes in the final transfer spot. As you're talking about, though, as stacked as it is, it always seems like at Anaheim, every year in sim and in real life, really, you have one guy sneak in that nobody would have thought would make the main, and other guy or guys not make it that you thought were going to be a shoo-in. Right now, I feel like I'm looking at Payson Johnson that's outside looking in, that this is going to be really interesting to see him go into that LCQ and be stacked up against a lot of other guys like Dennis Fjellberg in that LCQ. He's going to have to make a final push here and try to make something happen, but he's still outside looking in. Here he is back here. Look, he's just moved up to 9th, excuse me. So Johnson's saving himself late in this one, but he still has got to survive a couple more corners with Hunter Root trying to close down onto him.
Yeah, Dominic Tiberino after that, Tyler Shields and D. Davis, not some people you want behind you for sure, but it's so crazy how much. Look at that. Oh my God, that speed in the corner. If you hold that, though, that's how you can gain so much time. There's so many people so good at flat tracking, but look at this, diving to the inside, using different lines. Let's see how they attack this rhythm here. Payson
Johnson and Leitzel. Meanwhile, Leclerc takes the win out front. Leitzel shutting the door. Now he's going to put a hard block pass on Johnson. Not sure what is actually going on right here, but these two kind of playing with each other. Look at this. Leitzel back up the inside. Johnson squares back off. They're both
in transfers.
I don't really know what's happening, but Johnson goes through in 9th. Shields ends up in 10th. Root will be 11th. Devin Davis 12th. Zoa Cross. Benjamin Saves. Tiberino late in that one down, and Trent Adams out as well. Bob Joe, Braden Tharp, Finn Collins, and Caden Speck missing out, at least so far. We'll have to wait and see with cuts. It was only 1.2 seconds back to Johnson. I have no idea why Leitzel and Johnson were playing with each other so much right there, but it does cost them. Johnson out and going to the LCQ. Johnson missed out by about 0.8 of a second, which he certainly would have had he not been playing around there with Leitzel, but that bumps the 86 of Shields into the main event as Johnson gets booted out of this one. Incredible.
8 thousandths. Oh, no, 8/10.
8/10, yeah.
God dang it. 8/10, though, man. It's like, why? What are you doing that for? These people always make me so mad. I don't know. Maybe there's just, you never know. But Look at that, Leclerc, and who was second place right there? Number
Hubbard.
78, Hubbard. Both 1 minute flat, 0.4, 0.5. Hubbard actually faster than Leclerc coming into it with the best lap of the race, but I mean, that's just surprising. Look at those two, 14, 15 seconds in front of third place there. It just kind of shows you like who's done their work coming into the night, who's going to actually make it happen.
Well, I'll tell you what I think it shows is that starts tonight are going to be massive. If you can get some track position, maybe a couple crashes happen behind you and you get that separator. We've seen a couple heat races now where guys win by 10 to 15 seconds, and then behind them it's an absolute freight train.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just too difficult to pass on here tonight. Not too sure what is causing that, but definitely looks like if you get a good start and get away early, it's going to help you a ton. And of course, in those longer main events, it's just going to open up the gap more and more as you can kind of slowly roll away from all the chaos behind you. So Leclerc starting off on the right foot here tonight with a race victory. It's going to be very interesting to see Payson Johnson have to go to the LCQ and try to get a good start. Almost got a good start in this one, but then fell in the first corner. And then, Dennis Failberg, a couple others mixed in there as well. Going to be interesting. But, of course, we're starting off with the 250 last chance qualifier first. And similar to the 450 LCQ, a lot of big names coming into this one that we saw miss out in the heat races. So some guys are going to be going home, I think, unhappy after this one. But we'll see what happens right now. These guys are going to go 4 minutes plus a lap. Only 4 riders go through to the main event. And it's pretty much about the best racing of the night we're going to see, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited. I actually have to run to the restroom really quick before this happens because I don't want to miss any of the racing, but definitely the start. And there was a couple guys in every class that we said should be in. And normally it's more than 4 of them. So I'm excited to see what happens here as we get started with this 250 LCQ. I'm going to hurry up and come back as quick as I can because I don't want to miss any of the action. So I will be right back. And
the server's full.
That's a blessing for me.
Classic. Well, Awood will be right back. We're gonna take you guys into this LCQ, but the server is full again, so we're gonna have to wait to get connected. And I wish I could just load straight in, but like I said, usually with the skins, it just takes too long to load. I don't have a bad PC. It's just the way that the game works. You have everybody's skins. I get all the 2K packs, but it still just takes a long time to load. So sometimes I time out, and when I gotta load back in, it takes a little bit of time. So we'll wait. Maybe a couple people leave or get kicked, and we'll get back into the server. But it's LCQ time here tonight in Anaheim. 4 minutes plus a lap. As mentioned, top 4 riders go to the main event. That's going to be the exact same format for both the 250 West and 450 classes. Big names in this one. Going to be a lot of fun to see what happens. Of course, again, shout out to every single one of you guys that have tuned in tonight to watch the racing. 600 live viewers still here and kicking. So thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. Hopefully, we're putting on a good show for you guys so far. A lot of fun to be back in studio, in the booth, hanging out with my buddy Awood here tonight and talking about a little bit of MX Simulator racing. This is my 10th year commentating these races, and it just feels like it's gone by in such a flash in some ways, but also taken a long time in other ways. So been a lot of fun to do this over the years, and can't thank all of you guys enough for the continued support. All right, looks like we are back in and getting ready to go for this last chance qualifier. Like I said, some big names getting ready to line up in this one. We got Emmett Sun, Sam Weigman, Holden Coate, Jack Gatlin, Barry Brands, Alex Heckman, Casey Cochran, Juan Gomez, Thomas Wilcox, Dominic Paolini, I think, Reese Harris, Charles Gable, Benjamin Milchkovic, Matt Cromie, Brian Swanson, Brandon Nygren, Antoine Moicaron, Kyle Carpenter, Aaron Rockefeller, Cody Cooper, Austin Schaefer. And certainly looking through this group, there are going to be some riders leaving unhappy, but we also might see a couple breakthrough guys make it into this main event tonight that we don't normally see go straight through to the main event. Of course, Casey Cochran running that low 2-digit number 20, winner of a Supercross 250 Supercross main event last year. So he's putting a little bit more pressure on himself to do well this year, but going straight to the LCQ and having to fight his way in is not the way he would have hoped to do it. We'll see what happens right now. We're getting revved up to drop the gate. 4 minutes plus the lap. 4 riders go to the main 250 LCQ time.
And Casey Cochran with a great jump on the inside. Looks like he's going to be able to sneak away and get this whole shot if he holds it on over the hump. We got some riders going down. Casey Cochran easily into the lead here. in this 250 LCQ.
Yeah, Cochran leads the way early from Rockefeller. Up the inside comes Jack Gatland as well, side by side over the triple dualies, quadsies. We got big whips being thrown all across the board. Gatland trying to hold up the inside, makes it happen. Bold by Cochran to not triple double into the triple after the first Supercross triple right there, but now Gatland goes to the lead because Cochran made a mistake. So Gatland, the BPC machine, leads the way. Cochran, Rockefeller, Coat in line here. Miljkovic outside looking in. Wilcox, Nygren, Post also right here. Up the inside, Miljkovic looked like he was trying to get a nose on Rockefeller. Backed out of the challenge. Now everybody's shuffling for positions right here. And our top four may be breaking away just a little bit before this first lap is over.
Yeah, top four getting a little bit of gap, but not too much. With the names that you're reading off as you go through the running order here, it sounds like you're just naming off the names for a heat race. So this is incredibly stacked here, and we got a lot of guys who actually stayed up and were able to stay there. But man, look at that Rockefeller getting held up as someone goes down. Chris Post going to make the move through the whoops and be able to get up there, and that's all you have to do. Is if you get a good start, you got to stay on two wheels for at least the first few laps just to keep yourself up there, or else you're not going to be going through the main event. So we'll see what can happen here, if he can push back or if Chris Post can hold on. We get the triple double. Let's see what happens.
Those splits are so weird to watch, but yeah, like you said, start's critical, and running up front early and staying off the ground is also critical. But the pace tonight so similar. Seems like any little mistake that they make is almost going to be insurmountable, especially as tight as this last chance qualifier is. Miljkovic again down the inside trying to put a nose on Rockefeller. Same spot that he tried last lap, and it didn't work. And this time, it's going to cost him even more as he goes down in the whoops. This is really going to separate our top four, though, as more riders get involved. K-Carp goes down. More contact. Riders down literally everywhere, scattered. It's a absolute yard sale here in Angel Stadium right now. As we go back to our lead group and see what's happened, it's Cochran leading from Post now in second. Rockefeller up into third, and a battle coming to the line here for the final transfer spot. Wilcox and Jack Gatland, they have lost a lot of time to the front three, but they're still battling for this final transfer spot.
Yeah, Angel Stadium has been a yard sale for the last 20 years, so I know how it feels for sure. Definitely looking like this LCQ, but man, Gatland holding on, throwing down up there up front. And just like you said, it's definitely about who can just stay smooth here. Everyone is so close, and it's all about these tiny mistakes. Jumping off the track right there, catching some bails, that could end you right there. And I think all those guys that we saw go down in that second to last rhythm section last lap, their night may be over. It's all about this top like 5 or 6. You know, it kind of is up to them. But these guys, if you're in a spot or close to it, you just have to stay up and keep riding, hitting your marks and riding your laps around this track.
Well, Gatland is certainly trying to do that, but Wilcox is doing everything he can to close up. Both of these riders, I think, would be very unhappy not to make it into tonight's main event. Of course, Wilcox, low 2-digit number right there, the number 22 machine. He has ran up front at many of races in the last couple of years, even won a moto at Redbud recently. So he knows how to get it done in this 250 division, and he is trying to close back up to Jack Gatland. This is trying to make the first main event of the year here in Anaheim, and it's getting down to crunch time. We only got 20 seconds left on the clock as Gatland and Wilcox both jump off the track.
Yeah, this is the fight for the transfer spot right here, and these guys are both getting sketchy. Maybe nerves coming up to them a little bit, but they're still super close even after both those mistakes. Didn't allow too much time to be caught up around them. Two different rhythms there. Ooh, Wilcox going to lose some time.
Whoa,
and
Cromie
that
up
is
the inside,
cut.
cuts the track, and that's his teammate right there, but Cromie just trying to make moves, gets into 5th place. This is going to be white flag waving this time by, so Cromie has got to get his rush on right now as he gets a little sideways in the whoops, collects it nicely, but loses a little bit of ground. You can see the 22 of Wilcox. He's trying to get back up the inside of his teammate here. Let's see if he pushes the envelope. Gatland, a mistake. Look at this. Wilcox fights back up the inside. They're both closing up on Gatland, though.
Yeah, Wilcox playing it easy right there, coming up the inside of Cromie, and Wilcox goes deep and not able to make the corner. Cromie almost over the bars. Is he going to lose that spot there? Yes, he is.
Nygren jumping over top of him on the 47. This is still only for 5th place, though. They have got to go try to get Gatland there as down goes Nygren, and swapping out behind him, Cromie has to take evasive actions to miss him. They have lost a lot of ground. That is the breathing room that Jack Gatland needed so much on this last lap of the race.
Yeah, so one thing for Gatland, too, that he doesn't know is that Cromie had that big cut of the track there, and you never know how much that's going to affect him. But even if Cromie got that spot, you know that might not be his. So Gatlin just kind of has to ride safe and hold on. Chromie looks like he's going inside that corner again. I'm not sure if there's a cut that they're missing there. Those guys would know for sure, but Gatlin just is he's in the catbird seat right now. He's just got to hold on. This race is his right now. Not his race to win because Cochran's got that under locks.
Cochran down to the finish line jump, wins the last chance qualifier. That is going to be a huge weight off his shoulders. Always sucks to go to the first LCQ of the year. Chris Post goes through in second place with Rockefeller crossing the line in third, and Jack Gatlin makes it to the main event in fourth. We'll have to wait for cuts, but Chromie went down in the last turn, and he stacks up there with Wilcox, so that's going to cost them both a ton of time. Chromie disconnects, so he is out of this one. Anyway, Wilcox crosses 10 seconds down behind in fifth. Holden Cote, Brandon Nygren, Chromie, Barry Brands almost getting teed up by Charles Gable, Dominic Paolini, Alex Heckman, Juan Gomez, Ryan Swanson, Reeves Harris, Antoine Moicaron, Kyle Carpenter, Emmett Sund, Sam Wigman, Benjamin Miljokovic, Cody Cooper, Austin Schaefer, all not going through to the main event here tonight. So bummer for them, but of course elation for our front four here who have really just taken a deep breath and can put this one behind them.
Yeah, Cochran, one thing to look at too, I think the guys there are that won the heat races or were close to it about 103 lap times. These guys low 104s in this race, so showing they have the speed, we're able to make it through. We do have some faster riders, or with fast lap times at least 103s, that did not finish this race here or make it into the main event. But so Cochran, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the top 5 in the main event. You know, he did have a bad heat race, but you never know what's going to happen. A lot of times you get these guys that are first or second in the LCQ, and they're able to make something happen in the main event. As we move on towards our 450 LCQ here, and it's going to be just as crazy as this one, I bet.
Yeah, I think a lot of eyes in this 450 LCQ are going to be on Payson Johnson, of course, but yeah, similar to this 250 LCQ, a lot of big names going to it. And I think a few big names, at least I would have to imagine, are not going to make it through to this main event, which will be just devastating for them. Of course, this is a bummer to see Wilcox, Holden Cote, Nygren, Barry Brands, all these guys missing out. And Chromie, I think, was hoping for a lot more in his return to racing here tonight. It's been a while since we've seen him out here, but unfortunately he is not going to go to this main event either. So we're going to get ready to go racing here. 450 last chance qualifier getting loaded on the gate. Let's just say, yes or no, is Johnson making the main event tonight?
Oh, God. No.
Oh, man.
I want it. He could easily just go out and win by 10 seconds. That could also happen. But maybe he needs that 1 week of get your crap together and, put it all together, take those hard knocks and just get it over with. But there's a lot of other people in this main event that have had a lot of 450 main event appearances that kind of know what it takes to get there. And I feel like Johnson could definitely be out of it for a bit. So I would expect to see him. I don't know. He could get a good start and do it for most of the race. But if he does, I still think he's going down at some point, getting a little bit frustrated. But that is a big thing. And there's so many other big names in this where it's like that's one of 10 that you could ask me that question. That would be hard to pick an answer on. But my gut is telling me no, so we'll see what happens.
I forget who I was talking to recently. I think it may have been Ethan Parks of our SYS Racing Heckman Productions team, but he was basically straight up saying, like, I'm not making the main at A1. Like, I'm not going to be fast enough. And I told him, look, that's the right mood to have, because if you go in A1 and you're like, I'm in, I got it, no problem, that's when you start making mistakes, because you just start getting maybe a little bit lazy, a little bit complacent, whatever it may be. And I'm not saying necessarily that's what happened with Johnson, but personally speaking from my own experience, every year that I went into A1 feeling like I was ready, I missed the main event every single time.
Yeah, and you normally surprise yourself if you feel like, I'm not going to do that good. But normally it's like, I'm going to make the main event and I'm going to get, 18th and I'm going to make it in. Like, I would do that. But if I thought, I'm ready to battle for top 5, which was like once, I would just totally crap the bed, So Payson Johnson, this is kind of who we're all talking about right now, but there's so many other storylines in this 450 LCQ as well. But we're definitely looking to see where this rookie can come up and what he can do moving into the 450 class. Definitely a lot of eyes on him here tonight on that Panini. Is that Yamaha?
First Turn Films, yeah, Yamaha right there. Looking like a little bit of old school Justin Barcia mixed in with some Club MX Yamaha vibes this year. We'll see how it goes for Payson Johnson. All right, this is crunch time for him and the rest of the runners. Only 4 riders go through to the main event, and then our field will be set for tonight's racing action here in Anaheim. The 250SX West main event's coming up next, but right now it's the 450 LCQ. Can Johnson make it through in Anaheim?
And the gate is down. We got Payson Johnson. Not a good jump. He's going to have to slow up here. We've got number 49 up there, but he slides out.
He is completely off
Payson's
the bike.
done.
That is going to be a really tough road to get up this hill on as Devin Davis takes the early race lead. 5-6 riders in the tunnel jump at the same time. Some cross jumping and more riders going down. That's going to help Johnson as Davis makes a little bit of a mistake. Going to lose some time, but he'll hold on to the race lead. Excuse me. Benjamin saves, moves up into second place. Fjellberg in third, so he does get a good start this time. And Jaden Wilson is in fourth. Davis loses the lead. Benjamin saves to the front.
Yeah, Benjamin saves, able to make that or get past D. Davis. D. Davis there, though, no surprise. It just seems like he's never going away. It's going to be 20 years from now. D. Davis is still going to be just like cruising his way into a main event, but we'll see. He's got someone making a move past him. Looks like Dennis Fjellberg coming up the right side, but then moved to the left. D. Davis still able to hold on to it, but we got Braden Tharp right behind Dennis Fjellberg, and then it's going to be Jaden Wilson right behind him on that Panini Motorsports Yamaha as well. Look how close these guys are, though, from second to about 8th or 9th right there. These 450 LCQs, you have to get up there, and you cannot fall. It's not like the 250 class where you can go back and forth. If you go down, you're pretty much out.
Got a rider missing the tunnel jump on the right side of the track right there. That was the 53 machine trying to catch on to his Tharp. So Tharp missing the tunnel jump. He's going to lose a lot on cuts right there, but he does not lose a position. He stays fourth as he almost gets put on the deck. Jaden Wilson going to go back by him. Like you said, though, still everybody stacked on top of each other. Rider down. That was your race leader, Benjamin Saves, hitting the deck.
Look at that. Benjamin Saves as he goes down straight back to about 8th or 9th place, almost looks like. So Devin Davis back in lead, Fjellberg, Wilson, and Tharp going into your top 4. But look at this. He's just at the back of this train that looks like it's all the way back to about 10th right now. Braden Castellaneta going inside, trying to make some moves. And these guys are switching up 2 or 3 positions.
Oh, my goodness.
Every single rhythm section. Pilsner up there. But, man, these guys, it's just, you get these starts in these races, and you know my only job is to not fall. Avoiding down riders just
down.
like that.
That was Jaden Wilson. He just threw away a transfer spot. All these guys are still practically right on top of each other heading into the whoops. So let's reset it. Davis leads, Fjellberg second, then a 6-rider pack of Tharp, Pilsner, Castellaneta. That's Ash Deering getting past Ethan Parks. It was Saves that went up the inside. So these guys are all so tightly knit together right here with Fjellberg and Davis leading out front, Tharp third, and Pilsner right now holding on to the final transfer spot, but Castellaneta trying to get into the mix.
Yeah, Castellaneta trying to work his way back up there. Pilsner, though, trying to hold on. It's just these 450 LCQs. Like, I wish I could even... I feel like I can't put into words how you feel when you're racing them, like what you're in every single position, what you want to do. You know, you're up front, you're just trying not to fall. You're in 7th, and you're like, just ride my own race, and I'll get there. But these guys who are right around the bubble, 4, 5, 6, it's just... it's the hardest thing to do. And Pilsner, we see you do that triple quad right there, triple quad single. Going to lose some time, though. It looks like that's definitely not the fast line. I don't know why he would go back to that. Pilsner almost going to get moved up past. We'll see what can happen through the whoops here if he's going to lose the spot. Going to be able to keep the ground, but
Castellaneta up the inside
so close.
Gets the final transfer spot. I've been trying to keep tabs on Haley and Johnson. They're 9th and 10th respectively. They're at the back of this group, but if anything happens, they're still there just in case. Of course, Castellaneta is in that final transfer spot, but these guys are on top of each other. Pilsner saves. Here's Deering. There's Wilson. Haley now getting into the mix as well. Johnson just off the back of this group. He is still fighting and trying to get up there, but he is going to need some luck as time is about to expire, and our race leader, Devin Davis, going to bring us down to the white flag here. So we've got a lap and 2 corners to go to figure this whole thing out. Fjellberg coughs up second place. Tharp goes through. Here comes Castellaneta trying to get up in there from 4th.
Yeah, this thing's not over yet at all. As you see the group that's behind Castellaneta, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys right there within 2.5 seconds. So you make one mistake, any one of these guys from 1st to 4th, they can make a mistake and be done. So D. Davis has control of this. pretty much from the start. But if he has any one thing go wrong for him, it's going to be his night is going to be over for him. We see some guys going down behind him. That's going to open up a little bit of room. Castaneda trying to make a move, but I don't think that's the right move here. I think it's just stay up.
Wow.
And he does make it pretty easily on Fjellberg, but they just need to stay up and stay out of the way of someone falling in front of them. That's the way that you're going to get through the main event. As Castaneda pushes it, almost loses it.
Yeah, they had a bit of a gap established, but that gap has come down now. Here comes Deering, Pilsner, Wilson, Haley at the back of this group. This is getting tight as a little mistake there for the 731 of Ash Deering. Castellaneta is trying to hold on for all it's worth. He's got 4 riders breathing down his neck coming down these last 2 straightaways. We got a stack up. That's Tharp. He's stuck in the corner. Castellaneta up the inside and coming through the rhythm section. Deering outside. Going to try to cut back up underneath. He gets pushed wide. It's a drag race to the finish line. Who goes to the main? It is going to be Tharp by 0.2 of a second. Deering outside looking in 5th. Pilsner, Haley, Johnson, Root, Bob Joe, Jaden Wilson, Zoa Cross, Ethan Parks, Tanner Rogers, Will Whiteley, Finn Collins, Seth Carr, Trent Adams, and Benjamin Saves with Caden Speck and Tiberino Fitzpatrick. Also not going to the main event, but we will have to wait on cuts. Everything separated by just a few tenths right in that mix.
That was amazing. I missed that. I missed that calling where I just sit back and you're just going at it. That was such an amazing end to this 450 LCQ. So many little things can happen, and Tharp just totally, I mean, he's got it right now, but man, you see that sort of stuff happen. It's like, I don't know, we're going to have to wait for cuts. It's just, I don't know, I've lost for words, but Payson Johnson did not make it in, so I just want to point out that I am correct. And
Whoa, Tharp drops to 9th on cuts. Payson missed it by 0.3 in the end.
Tharp had 6.36
So let's reset this.
seconds.
Davis wins from Fjellberg. Castellaneta drops to 4th, as moving up to 3rd on cuts was Pilsner. Castellaneta dropped all the way to 4th and just got Johnson, who came across the line in 8th. He ends up 5th by 0.3 of a second, is not going to the main event tonight. Unbelievable.
That was so sick. I almost just had to eat my words there. The real winner here is Devin Davis. Just from pretty much start to finish. Winning LCQs.
I mean, he's basically Chisholm at this point.
What is this? So 2012, I think, is when he tried to get me, and he might have been here 2011. But 10 years later, D. Davis still out here getting in the mains, the 450 class, just staying strong. But, man, it's so wild. These guys, they just go back and forth. You got people cutting the track. You got people taking people out. You got people going down 2 corners to go. And you just never know what's going to happen. You got Payson Johnson almost making it on cuts after not being really close. And then you have Jack Haley also not in there, former champion. It's just what is happening in the world. I don't think Jack really expected to be in the main, though. So,
yeah, I mean, we don't have Jack. No Payson Johnson either. Yeah, no Hunter Root, another former champion in the mix that didn't make the main. So some big names like we saw not expected to make the main tonight, and they did not. Johnson just missed out in the end by 0.3. You guys, of course, reminded me in chat that Tharp actually missed the tunnel jump. I think it was on the 2nd or 3rd lap of the race.
Oh, yeah.
And that was ultimately what cost him that final spot in the main event. But if you go back to it and he gets back on the track to actually not miss a timing gate, he probably loses 3 or 4 spots at that time. Maybe doesn't even have a shot at making it into the main event. So can't fault him for trying, but in the end, the cuts did reach up and bite him.
Yeah, some great racing here so far tonight. And it's crazy because every year it's the same thing. It's just, it starts off pretty chill, and then you get to the LCQs, and then it starts to get crazy. And I no doubt that these 450 and 250 mains here tonight that we're about to watch are definitely going to be really exciting. And I think it's cool to see. There's different faces showing up. There's different people dropping back, and there's some people that are just in the same spot they've always been. So I'm really excited to see the racing tonight, how it works out with these 2 heats combined. And see what's going to happen here tonight in both classes. I think we got a lot of different people that could win here tonight, and it's going to be exciting to see and then develop over the next couple rounds of who's going to end up kind of asserting themselves in the top 3, top 5, and kind of taking this championship into their own hands.
Yeah, this 250 class is going to be wide open at the start, but we're going to figure it out right now who's going to come out on top. You got to pick for a winner, perhaps, Awood, tonight. It's going to be tough to pick one from this group. I think I'm going to go with the obvious here, but I think I'm going Jet Holyhead. I think he's going to get his first career main event win here tonight. Came to the field in the heat race very, very strongly. Fastest qualifier. Tough to beat that combo, but bad starts obviously hurt him in the heat race. Will another bad start cost him in the main? We'll have to find out.
Yeah, Holyhead, if he gets a good start, I think he's definitely, he's showing you he's one of the fastest people out there. So if he gets a good start, but he's also a little bit newer than some of the other people out on this gate. So we're going to see what happens. No doubt you're going to see someone like D Mills, Luke Magnetti, kind of up in that, for sure, in that 3 to 7 range, just kind of up there. But I'm curious to see where you're going to find people just like Daniel Irvine, looking really great next to that blow-up inflatable SYS banner. But if I wouldn't be surprised to see Holyhead first, maybe a close second, or maybe back in 8th. It's one of the first main events of the year. You never know what's going to happen, and I wish I could predict it. I am going to predict a Balzer hole shot.
All right, here we go. First 250 West main event of the year. Let's drop the gate in Anaheim.
And he let me down. But it's okay. Looks like we've got the number.
Big chaos going to the first turn. Ryan Pinkerton, the adept creative co-machine, comes out of all of it to take the first hole shot of the year as he misses off the side of the tunnel jump. He retains the lead, but we just saw what happened with Tharp. Other riders getting mixed together in the background as Irvine, who we were just looking at before the start of this one, moves up into second place. Seth Shirley's right there. He won the heat race earlier on tonight, so a good start for him. As Brady Stanley, Tanner Thorson round out our top 5, they're all chasing Ryan Pinkerton.
So weird. I didn't even see Ryan Pinkerton in the first 2 heat races. Just kind of overlooked him. Local mountain bike racer here, does love to play sim and has been getting better over the last 2 years as he's got a start to this main event. Is this going to be too many jitters for him? Is he going to be able to hold on to this for a little while? I don't foresee him going on to win this, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay up in the top 5 to 10 at least after a great start. It normally helps you get comfortable up there. But we got Daniel Irvin right behind him. And one person, oh my God, that was dirty. But one person I do see coming up is Seth Shirley in the 3rd place spot. After that heat race went earlier, I think he's kind of feeling probably the best out of everyone here in the field.
Yeah, well, he jumps off the track a little bit right there, but he certainly has got himself in a good position, especially when you compare some of his closest challengers. Luke Sullivan, 9th. Rasmus Balzer, 10th. D Mills down in 13th. Luke Magnetti, 14th. I still haven't seen, I don't know if Jet Holyhead is ahead of this group, but we have not seen him. No, he's 18th. Jet Holyhead, your fastest qualifier, down in 18th spot. Made it all the way up to 3rd in the heat race. Let's see what he's going to do in this main event, but that is certainly going to open the door of opportunity here in the main event for perhaps a fresh-faced winner. None of the riders out front right now have ever won a 250 Supercross main event, barring Brady Stanley. We know his past, of course. But all of these guys right here at the front of the field are certainly licking their chops at this opportunity. Nonetheless, is Ryan Pinkerton as he continues to lead the race on to lap number 3. Of course, we go 15 minutes plus a lap around this track, but Pinkerton is looking solid, just trying to put in consistent laps and let the chaos unfold behind him. Maybe he'll pull out enough of a gap to manage this thing down the stretch. He's already got a little bit of a lead working as Irvine slips through the clutches of his teammate Shirley.
Yeah, Irvine still trying to hold on. That triple-double gets me every time because I feel like they're just getting totally past and then it doesn't work out. But Irvine holding on here, and I'm really surprised by Pinkerton. Like, I'm blown away. The fact that it's only 2.5 laps in here. But the fact that you get out front, you're leading a main event, and you hold on to it, he could be shaking, probably heart rate 200 right now. But all these guys up front, they're just kind of chilling. Looks like they've all kind of settled in on this racetrack. Maybe after they figured it out, it's not that difficult to do their racing lines. You're obviously going to see some jitters and some moves or mistakes happen here shortly as Irvine's getting pulled up on a little bit by his teammate. Going to make a small bobble there. All these little times where they go inside, that's losing them a couple tenths here and there. And here we go. Irvine almost gets hit by his teammate, and he's going to almost go down, but hold on to it over the finish line.
That does move Shirley up into second place. So now this becomes a question of what Shirley's pace is like at main event speed. Is he going to try to manage his pace a little bit as well, or can he set sail right after our race leader Pinkerton, who has opened up a nice lead so far? Pinkerton is pulling away here in Anaheim, and boy, oh boy, would this be an upset of all upsets if the Adept Creative Co machine can go right to the top here at the opening round and leave with the red plate. He's looking super solid so far, but we're only 4 minutes into this race. He's still got 11 minutes left to make this thing happen, and as that clock ticks down, the pressure intensifies.
Yeah, and I did get a little sneak peek from D. Davis here in the chat. He said that Pinkerton did win the last round of the Japan XX Series, kind of coming in the preseason race series that RF puts on for these guys. So maybe that helps a little bit of his jitters kind of being out front here as we see Vanderbeek going by, getting up into the mix. But it's so crazy because I would not have called this top 5. You got Casey Cochran straight out of the LCQ, Luke Sullivan right there, who I would expect to be up a little bit higher. But, man, this could be – it's just this 250 West class, you know. A lot of people moving up and a lot of people dropping back.
Oh, Seth Shirley down out of second place. He had just caught up to our race leader, Pinkerton. Pinkerton must have made a mistake, and Shirley goes down. So Pinkerton loses a little bit of time, but in the process kind of retains a little bit of the gap that he had because Shirley goes down. Vanderbeek moves to second. Irvine up to third. Cochran from the LCQ is into fourth. Sullivan, good start in this main event for him as he's moved his way up into fifth now. Balzer trying to make a block pass to get around Thorson. They get together. They're both down. That is going to be a huge blow for Balzer, who had been working his way through the field. So Shirley goes back through into sixth. But I feel like maybe the man to watch here is Luke Sullivan. He knows how to win in these races. He has been very strong, getting better and better over the years. And he's now going to catch a whole group of guys that are going to be absolutely chattered right now, trying to hold on to this race lead.
Yeah, Luke Sullivan definitely on the move here tonight, and it's crazy to see Balzer go down like that because he's kind of in that spot where you're in like 6th or 7th, you're kind of making some moves, and you're at lap 5, and that's, you know, just under a third of the way through the main event for these guys, and everyone's still kind of together. You've survived it, and you're starting to move up where people start to spread out. You go down again, and you are going to be far away from everyone else. So Pinkerton throws too big of a whip.
And he goes backwards, and he plows into Irvine before getting going again. We've seen in the past going backwards before resetting like that is a bad move, and hopefully that doesn't affect him. But we have a new leader straight out of Belgium. It's the Phil's Honda of Maxime Vanderbeek. Talk about an upset of all upsets. This would be huge.
Yeah, that was crazy. Vanderbeek wasn't even in the picture at the start of this race and was able to just sneak his way up through. We talked about him earlier, but he was probably 10th or even further back from that, but just kind of was able to make his way up as everyone else has mistakes. There's kind of that guy who just goes through cleanly the whole way, and Vanderbeek, as I was about to say, just looks super, super smooth. He's one of those guys who doesn't look like he's trying, and he gets in the lead, and you're like, how is this guy winning? He's just kind of cruising along here. So if he can survive the erode, not getting too many lappers, the way that he's riding, he's got about a 6-second gap right now over the next rider. He's kind of just chilling here, but if we get any of the guys behind him that start to click off some laps, you know, he could settle in too much into a pace and kind of get caught. So Vanderbeek has to stay on it, just keep hitting his marks, and I think he's on his way for a great finish here.
Well, Pinkerton did settle back into second place, at least for the time being, but here comes Luke Sullivan. I think we expected him to be a challenger for this championship, as we did for Casey Cochran. So these are a couple guys that have won races before, know how to get it done, and suddenly, as we get into the second half of this race creeping up on us, you're starting to see the veterans make a little bit more progress and sneak up into the picture. Of course, Seth Shirley there in 5th. He's also a little bit more of a 250 class veteran at this point, was very strong last year, really got his feet underneath of him on that atom.com machine, is coming back this year with the same team, looks strong in his heat race, now trying to run down Casey Cochran. They're still chasing down Luke Sullivan, but Sullivan is certainly caught up to Pinkerton in a hurry. This is going to be very interesting to see how the second half of this race unfolds. Will the veterans come through, or are we going to have a brand new face at the top step of the podium here in Anaheim?
Yeah, he's definitely putting chase and putting it on hard right now. Luke Sullivan is definitely, if you said pick the top 3 that are going to win here tonight and you gave me a list of names, he was on it for sure. A little surprised at his qualifying. I don't think he was top 3, if I can remember, that I would have thought he would be, but he knows how to race. And look at that Pinkerton, a couple little mistakes, and just like that, you're catching 2 or 3 tenths here and there. And he's making big move right there on that flat track section. You got that rut. If they hold inside that, it looks like they can carry so much speed. Sullivan, I would expect him to make a pass within the next lap here. I love Pinkerton, but as long as Sullivan can hit his marks right here, he's going to make it. Look at him just staying further out to the right side, able to sweep his corners better. He's going to carry that much speed into this line. I wouldn't be surprised if after in the triple section he's right on him or making a move in the section afterwards.
Well, I'll give credit to Pinkerton for sure, because this is a unfamiliar situation for him to be at the front of this field, and he has done well to recover from his little mistake. He's dealing with the pressure right now from behind. Sullivan really giving it to him here for second place, and Pinkerton pretty much unfazed so far. Little mistake right there. Sullivan's going to scrub the triple. Pinkerton short, and Sullivan, just like you said in this triple section, going to move into second place. He is now 3.9 seconds down of our race leader, and the clock is ticking. 9:15, 9:16, so we're a little over 5 minutes plus a lap left to go, but the race is on at the front. Does Sullivan have the pace to run down Maxime Vanderbeek and win the opening round of this championship?
Not gonna lie, I feel like Ricky Carmichael, also in the same realm as Nostradamus, predicting that a little bit, but he just looked like he was gonna catch him. But Vanderbeek, man, he's just still up there. Luke Sullivan does have the speed, but if he gets up there, I don't know if he can match, if he can pass Vanderbeek. He's got that little bit of speed to get up to him, but is Vanderbeek gonna make the mistake to let Sullivan by him? And that's all to be seen. Luke Sullivan's gonna have to put in probably 4 or 5 laps to be able to get up there. I'd say lap 14, he's going to be up close if Vanderbeek has no mistakes with the lap times that he's putting down, the time that he's gaining. And then from there, he's going to have to make the actual pass, where Vanderbeek is just looking so smooth, consistent, and he's a lot more seasoned than someone like Pinkerton was. So Luke Sullivan, it's going to be, I think, a great race down the line, barring any mistakes from these guys. But I'm really excited to watch and see. It's going to be kind of a cat and mouse game between these two.
Now, here's the question for Vanderbeek. He has won races in Europe before. Obviously, being from Belgium, as he makes a little mistake right here, this is going to cost him a lot of time, and it might cost him the race lead. Down the inside, trying to make the pass. Not quite getting there just yet is Luke Sullivan, but he's got a great line with that on-off through this rhythm section, and the battle is on for the race lead in Anaheim. 1 and 2 on the screen, Vanderbeek and Sullivan. Who comes out on top?
Sullivan, very smart not to go for the pass right there. He is going to get the triple
Vanderbeek
over.
has to back out of the challenge. Sullivan leads, and Vanderbeek short on the finish line jump has to come to a complete stop to not go off the racetrack. That is exactly what Sullivan needed. He needed a quick pass, and he needed to get a gap established. He has both done, and now he has about 4 minutes plus a lap left to work with this race lead, 2.3 seconds. Is he going to hold on to this one?
I think that whip right there over the triple was just the try-hard leaving Sullivan's body, because he knows that if maybe he relaxed too much. But I was going to say, if he relaxes, he has the speed, he has the skill, and everything. He's national number 11 for a reason, to just ride consistent, get on with this race. All he has to do is hit his marks, regardless of track breaking down or any lappers. I think he's got this. Vanderbeek could start pushing back, but Luke Sullivan has just looked that much better than everyone as we watch this. Maybe not in the heat, he wasn't the best, but as you watch the main event go on, that's why we do these long races. You can just see them putting the track together and other people breaking down. Vanderbeek still looking strong. Casey Cochran up into fourth, chasing Seth Shirley in third. D Mills now up into fifth. Balzer sixth. Stanley seventh. Pinkerton all the way back to eighth, who was just leading a few laps ago. And those are kind of your guys. But Vanderbeek, man, he knows he's got to go faster every single lap than your leader right now, and I just don't think he has that.
Yeah, I don't think he does either. He's definitely losing a little bit of time, and he's pushing the envelope to try to hold it together and keep Sullivan close. But I don't know if he's going to be able to pull him back at this stage of the race. Seth Shirley now under attack. Cochran trying to close up into this mix a little bit. And the ever-steady freight train that is Daniel Mills told me earlier this week that he feels like he's going to be going pretty slow this year, but he's doing a pretty darn good job of ending up, again, inside of the top 5 here at the opening round. He still has Balzer closing up on him, so it's going to get tight down the stretch for these guys trying to battle and maybe still get on the box here late in this one. But a good ride for D-Mills to start off the season. Shirley still holding off Cochran. They're still chasing Luke Sullivan. We got 2 minutes left to go here. Does Vanderbeek have anything for these guys? And does Cochran maybe close up and get around Seth Shirley for a podium late?
Yeah, Shirley holding on to it longer than... no, I expected him to be there, but I thought Cochran would be a little bit closer to him with the way he was riding in this main event. I think this is going to be a good battle. As you talked about D-Mills, I am really surprised by that. He's been golfing pretty much 90% of his time, so I know he barely plays this game, and it's crazy just how when you're that good at this game, you can just come back and just do it. And if you settle into a pace, and D Mills is just chilling right there, 15 seconds behind the lead, not into any drama, but not showing any speed. Cochran, though, looking like he's getting close. He's got to get in this inside rut now. So see how that's forming? It's like a wall. They got to go over the hump and then make sure to get in the second one. You carry too much speed over that hump, and you're going to lose it. So Cochran chasing down with a 104 flat. Also his best lap of the race on lap 12. Last lap around, he's going to step onto that table, jump off, triple in. He shouldn't make the move yet, but man, he is closing in for a top 3 right here. He definitely wants to be on the podium.
That was ballsy by Shirley to triple out of the corner after the whoops. Haven't seen a 250 guy do that lately, and with that rut developing in that corner, it's surprising that he was able to get it as clean as he did, but he did get over that triple, and he's got a little bit more breathing room established. It's not a lot. Cochran's still giving chase, though, right behind these guys. And you're also getting a good view right now of what the track looks like after about 14 and a half minutes of racing on it on these 250s. A little bit more terrain deformation involved here. You can see the ruts getting in a little bit. Obviously, the whoops will get a little bit more cupped out as the race goes on as well. Track resets after every single race, so we're going to see a fresh track for the 450 class. But they go longer, and they tear up the track a little bit more than these 250s. But we're obviously seeing the ruts laying into the corner. These guys definitely establishing some lines right there. Lap traffic down as Seth Shirley goes by. And looks like time has just expired in time for Luke Sullivan to catch the white flag. So 1 to go before Luke Sullivan leads as your points leader. And what a ride it was to come through the field. He's got to navigate some lap traffic, though. Got to be careful here with Vanderbeek still lurking there in the background.
Yeah, Vanderbeek within a crash. I think Luke Sullivan off the track, just got to chill out, get back on, and just kind of finish this out here. He's throwing the whip. That shows you he's a huge whip, showing he's comfortable. But you do have lap traffic. You saw someone go down in the other section. Multiple guys, actually. So you just got to do that double, get through this, and just finish out strong. Luke Sullivan showing that he's kind of seasoned enough to get through this and just kind of finish this off. But Vanderbeek with a great ride, too, as well. Seth Shirley, Casey Cochran. Balzer moves into the 5th position over D Mills, but Luke Sullivan is the man of the hour right now. I love that corner, too, with the road. But as he's coming into the last section, got to keep dodging people, and this race is never over.
Sullivan's going to bring it down, though. Final section. And boy, oh boy, what a race that he ran. Started off slow, but just kept trucking to the front. And Luke Sullivan's going to leave with the red plate. Sullivan wins Anaheim 1.
Luke Sullivan pumped right there. Vanderbeek coming along in second after a great ride. Cannot be bummed about that at all. Seth Shirley into 3rd as well. These guys, you just got to say, I'm leaving Anaheim as the lapper tries to get close to him. Casey Cochran.
Balzer tees up D Mills for 5th. What an aggressive pass by the Dane, but he gets it done.
D Mills knew better.
Yeah, he left the door wide open.
You don't do that. We don't do that around here.
That was wide open for sure. Mills will still hold on for 6th, though. Fortunate not to fall off the bike right there. And his teammate, Brady Stanley, back at the races this year. He is going to come down and finish up 7th in this one. Daniel Irvine crosses the line in 8th spot. Jet Holyhead, wow, he was down in 20th about halfway through this race. He was having an awful night, but to come all the way back, get 9th, good job to salvage a top 10 from that. Lucas Schwardner ends up inside the top 10 as well. Riley Hewen just outside in 11th. Johan Bordeaux in 12th. And the last rider on the lead lap after leading so many laps of this race is Ryan Pinkerton. He'll end up 13th. As cuts come in, let's take a look if anything changed. No, Sullivan confirmed as your opening round winner. Let's go a little bit further back. Right. Looks like Jack Gatlin ends up 14th ahead of Magnetti, who gets 15th. Seth Crotty 16th. 17th for Alex Kerr. 18th for Alec Horn. 19th goes to Aaron Rockefeller. 20th for Tanner Thorson. 21st for Oscar Manias. And Chris Post rounds out our 22 riders in tonight's main event from Anaheim.
I do want to run down real quick after this, but man, that was such a good race. And it's like I was so impartial on the 250 class before this season, and then watching these guys. Luke Sullivan, you've got so much new, young talent that you expect is going to be up there, but then Luke Sullivan's just like, hey, guys, by the way, I've been here for the past 4 years, in the top 3 in Supercross and Motocross, and just comes out and throws it down. But I'm excited to see people like Brady Stanley up there, coming back after not losing his national number and just putting in a good ride. But so much of the new young talent going on in this 250 class. the racing was pretty close after the end of 15 minutes plus a lap. You got 5.44 seconds in between the top 4. So that's super close. You don't have these runaway 1 or 2 guys that are going into this. We had a great race by Luke Sullivan tonight, but none of these guys have to count themselves out. And if you're in the top 10 in round 1, if you made the main in round 1, you're better off than most people are here. So,
absolutely. Well, 1 round in the books for the 250 SX West division here in MX Simulator. And now we're about to put 1 round in the books behind us here in the 450 class. 20 minutes plus a single lap. Getting ready to drop the gate here on the first round of the championship. So thankful again to have every single one of you guys with us as we finally get racing here in MX Simulator for the 2022 season. It's been a great night of racing so far. Many faces back at the races. Great to see how many people have showed up and tried to race here in this 2022 championship season. It all starts in Anaheim. Of course, we'll be back here next week if you guys want to join us again for the Oakland MX Simulator Supercross next Wednesday night at 6:15 p.m. Pacific. That's 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go live right here again. So please don't miss it out. But don't miss this action either. Do not touch that URL bar. I'm seeing less people suddenly. We're at 694 and we're down to 671. Why would you watch all the way just to leave right before the 450 main event? This is when it's about to get real good, folks. Let's see who is going to come out on top of this one. Whoops, didn't mean to press that. We're going to go back to this and join up. Man, so many good riders on the track here tonight, though. Tough to pick a winner. Man, I don't know if I can pick one. Leclerc looked good. Obviously, Jeremy Smith won his heat race. Carter, he was able to fight his way through and did decent enough. Jeremy Seabolt looked very fast. He'll be strong tonight. Colby Eagland, he's trying to break through for a race victory. Fjellberg coming out of the LCQ. Leitzels looked strong. Blakely, Castellaneta, Pilsner, Caleb Hall. Of course, Lang, fresh off the outdoor title. Who you got, A-Wood? This is going to be nuts.
I'm going to go ahead. I feel like he could have never won one before, but I feel like Seabolt always comes out strong. And he was just up there. He's been showing some speed, some consistency, and if he gets a good start, I feel like Seabolt is just the guy that always comes out and just early in the season, it's like, yeah, that's your guy, he's winning. Why wouldn't he, So looks good with that number 18, I feel like you look good, feel good, race good. So
yeah, a little bit of a number swap there. Seabolt was normally number 9 because he'd earned that from winning a Supercross title. Actually swapped it, so he gave 9 to Carter, who won the Supercross title last year, and Seabolt went out of the single digits, elected to run a 2-digit this year. So a little bit of a change-up. We'll see if that is any more good mojo for him or not. But here we go, folks. The quest to win the 2022 MotoOption Supercross Championship starts right now.
Got Seabolt and Leclerc and good gates, but we're going to get a
contact in the first corner. Lang pushes everybody wide in a big crash out of the middle. Bryce Whelan going to rip the whole shot on the Phil's Honda. Leclerc up there in second. Whelan misses the tunnel jump just like Pinkerton did in the 250 main event. As we go bar to bar over the trip on the first lap, Leclerc trying to go to the race lead as Smith jumps into the fray. He's going to try to go to the lead as well. Leclerc to the front in Anaheim.
Yeah, that double triple definitely leads you in better into that corner there. Leclerc to the front, which is scary for everyone else on this racetrack. Jeremy Smith right there in fourth. And I think it was Seabolt right there in fourth behind them. But, man, this is just – look at that freight train going through. This 450 class is unreal, and it's just, it doesn't even matter to start too much unless you're Leclerc. If you see Leclerc get there, oh my God.
Whelan going to the lead, absolutely demolished that rhythm section, and Bryce Whelan goes back to the front. Leclerc did not get the triple in through that tricky rhythm section, and you're right, it is indeed Seabolt moving up in third. We've seen many great Leclerc-Seabolt battles over the years. We might be in store for another one here tonight, but Whelan leads the way after lap 1. How long can the Canadian hold on? Seabolt down in the background. He goes down out of third place.
And that's your past champion, I think, moving up into third. Braden Carter taking over that spot, who was able to make the move into fourth just before that. And, man, this is... when you got Alexis Leclerc followed by Braden Carter, it's never going to not end in fireworks. So I'm excited for the start of this race. absolutely crazy start, and Braden Carter just has to keep it close to Leclerc, because if you let Leclerc go, he's going to be gone. So these guys both chasing Bryce Whelan, though, who got a great drive through this rhythm section here. Gets a little sketchy coming into it. Let's see if he can do the same line. No, he's not. So that triple with Leclerc's going to be able to make the move just like he did last lap on him, up the inside.
Oh, Leclerc puts Whelan into the Davalos bales. He had to expect it coming. Surprised Whelan didn't try to square him off, but Leclerc back to the front. And I think this is the battle we all really wanted to see. Leclerc versus Carter, 18 minutes left to go. This is going to be a good one. Strap in, folks. 450 main event here in Anaheim is going to get real good, and it's going to get good in a hurry. How fast does Carter try to make a pass, if he tries to make a pass at all, or does he sit behind Leclerc and maybe meter a little bit what Leclerc is doing? Leclerc mistake, and this is Carter's opportunity. Squares off on the inside. And to the lead, almost through the front door, though. Oh, my goodness. Carter to the front. Leclerc trying to fight back. Back and forth we go.
And as we see, it's going to be coming into this section. I think these are two big rhythm sections here. Leclerc going into the inside, but that might give him a better drive into this corner. Going to give him that easy triple out. Carter's going to miss it, and there goes Leclerc just right back to the lead. Leclerc's inside into those whoops definitely actually helped him there. I think Braden Carter just needs to sit and chill out and wait for those mistakes from Leclerc, because they are going to happen. But Braden Carter can make them himself. I don't think there will be as many of them if he's not pushing as much. But, man, Leclerc is just the same old Leclerc. He went from easy Leclerc to crypto Leclerc. But we will see. This is going to be a great battle as long as these guys can kind of play nice here. I don't see either one of them, or at least Braden, getting overly aggressive. Dualies. But we'll see both with that double, triple looking weird. But these guys are just kind of playing cat and mouse here. You're going to see some outsides and insides and see where it takes them.
This is an incredible race so far, and we are barely 3.5 minutes into this one. We have so much racing left to go as Carter almost tucked a front wheel. Actually may have gained time because of that, though. Was able to dig into the ground a little bit. Still can't believe that inside line from Leclerc here into the whoops last time by. Does seem like Carter maybe has a little bit more pace in hand, but just doesn't seem to have the consistency to make something stick on Leclerc just yet. We'll see what happens, though. It's Jeremy Smith back and forth, lurking back there. Enzo Buttigny in fourth, I should say, with Smith in third. And then Leitzel, Whelan, Shields, Fjellberg, Burns, and Seabolt round out your top 10. All eyes on this lead battle, though. I don't think anybody else wants to see anything other than Carter versus Leclerc in MotoOption Supercross right now. This is incredible scenes at the opening round of this championship.
Yeah, I'm looking up across the top of the board, seeing names back in 15th, like Tyler Lang, 16th Eaglin. And I'm looking at that, and it's just not as big of a deal as Braden Carter chasing right behind Alexis Leclerc. We would love to show you something else, but you guys also don't want to miss this. As the ruts start to form, you see those small little ruts these guys have to hook in as we get in the first-person view, even in those little corners. Braden Carter going up the inside for the kill.
Goes for the block pass. Leclerc able to triple out. Look at that inside line. Not too much time lost.
No, I think that inside line, if you're going to take the inside and cut out that hole going around the outside of that 90, it actually makes it pretty close to even. So I think if Braden's going to do that, if he's going to be in second and he's going to make a run there and try to stop Leclerc, that's going to be a pretty good move there where he can kind of dive it in, try to mess him up, kind of show him he's there without killing himself.
They get together,
kills him.
And Carter takes the lead. I think that's maybe the first time in his life I've ever seen Leclerc get the opposite end of the lag situation.
Oh, and he's down again off the track.
He goes down.
Bike.
Rough track reentry. Got into the back of maybe Buttigny. But that is going to give a huge advantage to Carter. Cannot believe how hard Leclerc just went down, though. That was basically a punt, but they barely touched.
It wasn't. It's nothing you can do when you're playing with guys from here in Southern California to someone over in Europe. You're just never going to be able to get it perfectly. Braden Carter, definitely not his fault, just came in. And then to make it worse, Leclerc probably freaking out, comes back on with a terrible track reentry and just kind of screws himself over. Instead of trying to hug it, stay up and work your way past, he gets off the track or legs off the bike again. So he is going to be fighting from a hole. And Braden Carter, this is his race to win or lose right here. It's all depending on him just staying up. You got 6 seconds over Jeremy Smith, who could be a pain in your butt later on, but Braden Carter, with the speed he has, just has to ride this one out here at A1. And that got really way less exciting really quickly.
We'll have to see when he gets into lap traffic how he's able to fare through. We've seen lap traffic be little bit of a problem area for some riders tonight. So still more drama to potentially come. How about this ride, though, for Jeremy Smith up in the mix? Talked a lot tonight so far about veterans versus the new wave and the new generation. Well, Smith, about as veteran as it gets. He is into his 10th year in racing in this game. Made his pro debut way back at Dallas in 2012. Still going at it strong these days. Running second, won a heat race. I mean, it's just typical Jeremy Smith. You don't always look at him as a guy that's going to come out and run up front all the time, but man, does he do it with very, very good frequency.
Yeah, when you're making when you're scoring points in Supercross, scoring points in outdoors, making mains in Supercross, and then you come and you're like, oh, this guy is just cruising in to play a game, and you're just out there, oh, you're second best in the world at this video game, in this pro racing. I mean, he's been doing it for 10 years. It should be no surprise to us, but man, he's just, I'm still surprised. He's just crazy with what he's doing, the people he's beating right now, with how much time they put into the game. And he doesn't put in as much time as people like Leclerc and the Roots and other people like that. Even when they're barely playing, it blows my mind that Jeremy Smith is still someone that we talk about and is relevant these days. And he's throwing down these lap times that are not blazing fast, but the amount of racecraft that he has, and no doubt that that's from his real life racing. I feel like a lot of the real life, really fast racers are always so much better at this game just because of the way they take on racing. But look at him. He's just chilling. He's 3 seconds behind the lead in this race over the fastest MXM player in the world.
I know. I'm honestly kind of amazed right now. He's been bringing this gap down. He basically just gained like 3 seconds that last lap by 102.2 versus a 105.9. Carter's making some mistakes, but still the consistency of Jeremy Smith starting to shine through right here. And don't touch that URL bar, folks. We have a bit of a race brewing. Jeremy Smith keeping Carter close. This could get good going into the second half of this race right now.
Yeah, Jeremy Smith, I mean, he's the type of guy that's going to come out. I put him and someone like in the 250 class, someone like D Mills, someone who's just like Luke Sullivan, kind of even in the 250 class, where he was never like crazy blazing speed, but they have that top pace. It might not be top 1%, but maybe top 5% pace, but they're just so consistent, so smart in the way that they manage the start and the race as the track breaks down, being able to manage their rhythm sections if they get a bad drive. And he doesn't fall. There are those people that are just kind of there. He's going to go close to the bales, get a little bad thing, but he's not going to try to make a triple out somewhere that he can't. And that's the thing. I don't think you're going to see a 105 from him. There's another 102.4. And maybe Carter actually didn't seem to drop it as much, so he's probably running the 102. You'll see another 1 minute out of Carter, but Carter will also have a 110. So he may not actually run away from this thing. He may put it on the ground, and Jeremy Smith is not that guy.
No, Jeremy Smith is just going to be absolute freight train the rest of this race. He is so smooth and consistent, like you said. But Carter is still holding on. He's able to get that gap opened up just a little bit more, maybe settling in here. Back to Leclerc, though. He has just moved his way into third, got around Tyler Shields, and Leclerc, he's on a charge right now. He just laid down a 1.5. Don't count Leclerc out of this race just yet. We are 10 minutes in. We have 10 minutes and a lap left to go. And if you tally up the time, Leclerc's still only about 10 seconds down. Like you said, Carter may put it on the ground. You have a fall-off crash from Carter, and the consistency out of Leclerc here. Leclerc might come back and still win this race.
Yeah, I've probably said this every race I've ever commentated. Unless you're 20 seconds over, I'm not comfortable, because 10 to 12 seconds, you're in danger of a fall-off crash costing you the position you're in. With Leclerc throwing down these fast lap times as well, keeping Jeremy in his sights. If he gets close to Jeremy, this race could just be his, because if Carter puts it down, he just goes past Jeremy like nothing if he wants to. If he really, really wants to, Leclerc can do that and just take this race for his own. So don't count Leclerc out. Being 11 seconds out, he can almost pass him on one fall off alone. So I am surprised to see Tyler Shields that close to him, having a great ride there. I feel like we should talk about him as well, kind of out of nowhere. We did not expect this, but man, he's putting on a great ride here. And to be pressuring Leclerc 11 laps into a 450 Supercross main event, you're definitely having a career night.
Yeah, I definitely would not say I would pick Tyler Shields necessarily to be in my top 5 tonight, but boy, is he proving me wrong, because he is riding fantastic, holding on to this 4th position. Since we are halfway, there's a little bit of gaps established. Let's go ahead and give you guys a top 22. Let's just go through the field. Let's give you a run through the field here tonight in the MX Simulator main event opener from Anaheim. It's Braden Carter, the defending Supercross champion, on the number 1 Phil's Honda, leading here from Jeremy Smith at SYS Heckman Productions number 4 machine, with Leclerc on the Safe Moon number 7 in 3rd. Tyler Shields, the Stool Bend number 86 machine, in 4th. Jeremy Seabolt, former series champion, on the Panini Motorsports First Turn Films number 18 machine, rounds out your top 5. 6th place for Logan Leitzel on the number 16. And 7th right behind him is Tyler Lang. Remember, Lang went down into the first corner on that number 5 Underground RC Suzuki. So to get back up inside of the top 10, good effort for him, and he still has some other riders he could pick off before this one is over. Joseph Pilsner runs in 8th on the First Turn Films machine. 9th, Trevor Burns on the Adept. I believe that's the number 39 machine. Jacob Hubbard rounds out our top 10 on the Phil's number 78. 11th is the 3 machine of Dennis Fjellberg, Hubbard's teammate on that Phil's Honda. 12th for Braden Castellaneta on the Underground RC number 26. 13th, Caleb Hall, his teammate right there behind him on the number 33. And 14th, Chase Blakely on the BPC number 21, trying to make a pass in the whoops here. 15th, Enzo Butigny on the Impact machine. Looks like that is the number 185 coming into your living room. 16th for Colby Eaglin, bit of a rough night for the Panini Motorsports number 24 machine. He was hoping to have a better night here, but still has some racing left to make it happen. Bryce Whelan goes from the lead back to 17th now on his number 45 Phil's Honda. 18th for Devin Davis on the number 31 Adept Creative Co. Yamaha. 19th for Austin Eklund, the First Turn Films machine right there, going to go past Devin Davis into 18th. 20th is Trevor Spencer on the BPC machine. 21st is Ethan Gerst on that Panini ride right behind him. And Roy Mitchell does not finish the race tonight on the Jack Daniels Racing Honda.
So Jeremy Smith has had a fall-off crash and has given away the second place position, I think, right?
Yes, he has. He's dropped back to 4th.
To Leclerc. So
Yeah.
Shields is going to get by him. And Leclerc is now within 10 seconds of your race leader. So that is something to look forward to. It's basically another cat and mouse dogfight here as they're navigating now through lap traffic to try to get back up there. And
yeah, 10.3 seconds. It's just fluctuating about at the same rate. 101 flat for Leclerc last time by, 1 flat 0.7. So Carter's upped his pace just a little bit and has reset his personal best of the race. As we get into the later stages of this one, like you said, lap traffic starting to come into play just a little bit. We still have 5.5 minutes plus a lap to go. So this is not completely done and dusted just yet, especially with the pace that we know Leclerc can run in a single lap, down to about 9 seconds. I think that this is one of those situations where Carter's just trying to manage from the front, not going to be feeling the flow in the whoops right there. But I think he's probably going to be mentally okay until we get down to like 4 or 3 seconds, the gap.
yeah, and it's kind of weird because these guys push so much that if they kind of try to slow it down 1 or 2 seconds without pushing the corners or something, sometimes actually slowing down late in the race is going to make them make more mistakes by trying to relax a little bit and not trying to push it as much. So I think it's a little bit different for every guy. They all kind of have their weakness. As look at that rut. It goes all the way around the corner, over that hump, into this corner. That's just absolutely crazy, into this super rutty corner. But I think the track is almost at its fastest right now. Both times we checked lap times on lap 13 in the 250 and 450 class. The riders we checked into had their fastest lap time of the race. So Braden Carter could be putting some heaters down, but he is heavy into lap traffic here. So he's just kind of stay smooth. Keep doing those 101s. Don't slow it down too much. Don't get out of rhythm. And don't let Leclerc get too much time on you.
I'll tell you what, Carter, at least right now, I'm gonna knock on wood for him, but he's actually going to break a little bit of a streak here. We did see it last year that Seabolt was able to break it as well, but it took him many rounds to make it happen. We went 3 straight years where the defending Supercross champion did not win a race in the following season when it comes to Tyson Fresquez, Alexis Leclerc, and Jack Haley. They could not win a race in the season after they won their Supercross title. Carter is trying to put that whole stat to bed right now at this opening round. He wants to leave here with that red plate still on his bike. Looking good so far, but like we said, with the time coming down, the track deteriorating a little bit, it's getting a little bit more hairy. I think Leclerc might have an opportunity, and just as I say that, he goes down.
The commentator's curse once again. Leclerc was closing that up a little bit, it looked like, as far as on our end here. And he's going to get passed by Tyler Shields. What is happening?
Tyler Shields,
not even in the heat races.
Up into second place, and once again ahead of Alexis Leclerc, trying to hold on to this position. This would be an absolutely mind-boggling finish if Shields can still end up on the podium even. Carter went down. Carter has lost a lot of time. 4 seconds is the gap between he and Shields. Leclerc 5 seconds now between he and Carter. So just after Leclerc went down, Carter must have hit the deck as well, and this is going to flip on its head a little bit now. 3 minutes and a lap to go. Does Leclerc have enough time to put in a late charge as he's trying to get Shields right now?
Don't be surprised if you see Tyler Shields win this main event with how close these guys are. Leclerc known to ride over his head late in the race. Braden Carter could as well, both showing weaknesses, falling within the last few laps, and Shields just being dead steady this whole race. Leclerc's going to push it. You see he has that fall off last lap. 1:11. He's going to try to make these triples out. He's going to make the pass on Shields right here, coming up the inside. But does he keep it on 2? No, he's actually not going to push it too hard. And I could see this being down to the wire between any 2 of these 3 guys here.
Well, we only have 2 minutes left to go. Leclerc's got to make quicker work of Shields here if he still wants a shot at Carter, because that gap is opening up as these 2 battle each other. And you see Leclerc looks like he might be done. He's not going to wait anymore. Off the track goes Shields. Leclerc cross jumps and goes down.
And he's done off the bike. Tyler
Shields hit
Shields.
the rut wrong and got sideways again. Leclerc hitting the deck. And that might be all she wrote for the main event victory. Carter now out front has a pretty comfortable gap. But I'll tell you what.
He's got to be so scared because he's within the fall off. And he looked in that rut. I mean, they both are, but they look so tentative going through all of these things. Shields might be slowing down a little bit more, but Braden Carter, you're in the spot where you're winning, but you're not winning by enough to crash. So your only job for Braden Carter is both of these guys is to not crash for 2 laps, and you win.
Could you imagine if somehow Carter crashes this away and Tyler Shields wins the opening round of the season? This is mind-bending stuff out of Tyler Shields. Now up into second place, still within a shot of winning the opening round of the season, seemingly out of nowhere. Look at this, a mistake for Carter. He has to roll the Supercross triple.
And that's just more time for Shields. Carter did the same exact thing that Leclerc did, was go into that rut, 2 perpendicular into that 90-degree corner, and just kind of hit that rut and get that front end lock off that double there. Back in the day, that would have killed you 100 times out of 100, but able to save it a little bit there. Leclerc wasn't so lucky last time they did that, but Carter just has to hold on to this. But Shields, just keep right there. And Carter, it's kind of up to him. Shields is not going to catch him on pure speed, but he has to stay close enough to get there if Carter starts throwing this away.
Carter's going to come down and just miss getting the white flag this time by 19:50 on the clock right now. So he should cross probably about 5 seconds left to go on the clock. There it is, 5 seconds to go, and didn't quite get it there. So time has now expired. And next time through, Carter will get the white flag. So we got 2 laps to go. Shields is still lurking back here. Leclerc trying to close up and maybe get second away from Shields late. But man, oh man, if Carter crashes this one away, I don't know what I would be thinking to see Tyler Shields winning this main event. That'd be insane. A little shout to Logan Leitzel, though. He has done a good job of charging his way forward. We lost Jeremy Smith from this lead group. Leitzel's now made his way all the way up into 4th. He's not actually too far off of our lead group. If one of those guys maybe goes down up front, he could still find his way up onto the podium late in this thing. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then rounding out our top 5 is Jeremy Seabolt on that Panini Motorsports First Turn Films number 18 machine. So good start to his season as well. Lang has recovered from that first turn crash to get all the way up to 6th. So nice salvage rides for some guys that we expect to be, title threats down through this championship. Not losing too many points at the first round.
Yeah, Seabolt making his way up there into 5th definitely makes me a lot happier about my pick for him to win just blindly in this race tonight. But you definitely kind of see the cream rise to the top. Pilsner, Castaneda, Lang, all those guys, Jeremy Smith, Fjellberg, still inside the top 10. But just goes to show you there's names all the way on back throughout the field that I feel like we could see on the podium this year. But Braden Carter is the man of the night on the white flag lap. Just has to keep it up, and that's his only job over these last 3 or 4 sections here for the rest of the night. But great job for Shields tonight, putting on the ride that he has. But I really feel like we've gotten a kind of the pick of this. Anyone in this top 10, I feel like, is still good for the title. You know, you got to see how they work out through the next couple rounds. But it's been a great night of racing.
Yeah, it has been a great night. Started off so well with that Carter-Leclerc battle. Ended in tears for Leclerc, but he's still going to end up on the box. But the man on the top step of the podium last year stays on the top step again. Braden Carter brings it home to win the Anaheim opener in 2022.
No way.
Those plates stay red for another week. What a ride. Tyler Shields ends up in second place, ride of his career, no doubt about it. Leclerc in his return to racing tonight, so great to have him back. He ends up on the podium with a third place there as well. Leitzel looks like he will hold on for fourth. Battle to the line here. Lang trying to close up on Siebold. Oh, and he's going to slide out in the last turn. Not going to lose a spot, I don't think. No, Lang still ends up in sixth. Pilsner going to bring it down. He should get seventh here. Castellaneta in eighth. Eagland in ninth. Fjellberg has tipped his way into the top 10. He and Jeremy Smith coming to the line together. Looks like Smith will end up 11th in this one, but still pretty close. Cuts could come down to adjusting these ones a little bit after the race, but Smith over the line in 11th. Hubbard 12th. Hall will be the last rider on the lead lap in 13th. It was Whelan in 14th, 15th for Burns, 16th Blakely, 17th was Gerst, 18th for Austin Eklund, 19th for Devin Davis, and 20th for Enzo Buttigni. Trevor Spencer and Roy Mitchell did not finish this main event, but they will each get 2 and 1 points respectively as cuts come in. Carter confirmed winner of the opening round. Let's see if anything jumped around. Looks like it stayed pretty steady. It looks like Burns got around Whelan for 14th. And that looks like it was the only change here tonight in Anaheim. What a great night of racing. Braden Carter, champion last year, comes out on top at the opener. There is no curse this year. He is going to get that race victory stamped off already and keep rocking those red plates with him next week into Oakland.
I don't know why I ever went against Braden Carter, because I feel like him and Leclerc are inevitable pretty much every single year. So, but a great ride by everyone. Man, that top 10 was just crazy, kind of going back and forth. You had some guys who were just, they were totally out of it, and then you're like, oh, they might be gone, and then no, they're just back up there in sixth where they belong kind of every year. So really exciting racing here tonight.
Yeah, very, very exciting racing indeed. We're so excited to have the championship kicked off now and get ready to move into the rest of the season. Of course, as mentioned, Oakland will be next week, so we'll be live here on Start Your Systems at 6:15 p.m. Pacific. That's 9:15 p.m. Eastern for the Oakland Supercross next week. And be sure to head to racefactorgaming.com to check the entire event schedule, because the entire season has already been laid out and you guys can see what is coming up down the road. We're pretty much going 17 rounds in 18 weeks, just like the real Supercross schedule. So buckle in. It's going to be a fun ride. Carter ends up on top. We got Luke Sullivan winning the 250 class tonight. Great racing all around. A-Wood, highlights of the night.
The Leclerc 450s, the Leclerc Carter battle, basically just them being so close. It's that weird cat fight where it's not like great racing back and forth, but you're just kind of waiting for something to happen. I feel like that tension. And then just the 250 class, I think also just how stacked it is, and how the guys in 250 class, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I bet you the guy who got 10th could just win next week, and it's just kind of all over the place all the time, which is my favorite part about the 250 class.
Yeah.
Who's going to be in the LCQ? The guy who won tonight might not make the main event next week. So
right.
I think that the craziness of the 250 class, and then just 450 is almost more of like that tension. So just being back. So I'm glad for another year. It's been a lot of years. So back to Race Factory Gaming Racing.
Yep, back at it again. So thankful to have every single one of you with us tonight. Got up to, I believe, over 700 live viewers at one point. So huge shout out to everybody that tuned in. Hopefully you guys had a very enjoyable time watching the racing tonight. I know myself and A-Wood can speak that we had a good time watching the racing, calling the broadcast, and hopefully we made it a little bit of entertainment for you guys here on this Wednesday evening before we drop the gate in real Supercross this Saturday. So please be sure to check racefactorgaming.com and mxsimulator.com. Big shout out to all the sponsors involved with Race Factory as well for always helping to put on the show. Everybody behind the scenes as well. Jeremy Cohenauer for putting putting on the races, and Dylan Copeland building the opening round of the championship. Big thanks to everybody involved there. That is going to be it for us tonight, though. We're going to send you guys on your way, and we look forward to seeing you guys back in Oakland next week at 6:15 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you guys then.